Time. Hello, welcome in, folks. This is the 495th episode of the Dean Withers Show. For everybody tuning in today, I really appreciate you so much for being here. We're live a little bit earlier today than we are most days, guys. That's because I do have some plans later. So happy afternoon for everybody that's tuning in. If this is your first time joining the show, well, you are in for a treat. Every day for around 4 hours, we debate Trump supporters and we try to convince them that they are lost, dazed, and confused. Why? Well, that's because Trump is the very worst president of your life. We usually end up getting some absolutely insane crazies up here, though. I mean, it's the last couple days have just been terrible. Yesterday, we had a woman arguing that self-defense doesn't apply in rape scenarios, so you have a moral obligation to not kill your rapist if you're actively getting raped. That one really stuck out. That one was hard. Okay, we had a lot of really hard discussions yesterday. Hopefully today we have a little bit more fruitful dialogue where we are able just to converse about the nature and the state of America and the Trump administration to try to convince people that they should leave the right, because the right sucks. The left is where it's at, folks. Now, I would assume that the vast majority of you guys have already been here. Your reoccurring audience members, you've been here before. Thank you so much for tuning in again today. Every time you make the conscious decision to click on a live, it really helps us out. It ensures that the live will send out across that For You page on TikTok, across that algorithm on YouTube. So I really do appreciate y'all for being here. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this stream. Every day before we hop into that first debate, we already do have the very first Trump supporter of the day connected on TikTok. We like to go over the breaking news. Today's breaking news is that a preliminary report from the military indicates that the military is basically responsible for the deaths of 4 U.S. citizens in New Mexico. Kind of crazy. Let's go over the specifics. So a Trans-Aero medevac, which is a plane, crashed just after midnight a handful of months ago into a mountain range in New Mexico, killing the 4 people on board, the 2 pilots, and then the 2 medical health professionals. Now, the issue is the reason why they crashed into the mountain range is because their GPS was not working and it didn't show a possible, object, would that be in the mountain range, in between the plane and the landing strip because their GPS was not working. Now, the air traffic controllers were also overwhelmed, out of bandwidth, so they weren't much help either in trying to identify any potential objects in the path of the plane. And for that reason, they couldn't pick it up on the GPS and they couldn't talk to air traffic controllers about it. They ended up crashing straight into the mountain range and everybody on board died. But at that same time, the military in New Mexico was testing with controlled GPS jamming technology. And the preliminary reports are that this military GPS jamming technology jammed the GPS of the medevac flight, causing it to go out of service, causing them to crash into the mountain range. So it's possible that this experimental GPS military technology was the cause of their deaths, was the reason why they died, meaning that it seems to be the case in accordance with preliminary reporting that Trump's military is responsible for the deaths of 4 U.S. citizens on American soil. That's crazy. Macy Jones, I appreciate you for this act's approval. Let's go ahead and hop into that first debate of the day. Listen, Keem, if you want to repeat the reasons that you gave me insofar as why you support Trump, I would really appreciate that. Why don't you take it away?
Number 1, Democrats are crazy. Number 2, Kamala Harris is absolutely an idiot. Number 3, you're a part of the left side, so that's another reason. Number 4, Parker's also a part of that side, so that's another reason. Is that enough? Would you like more?
Well, I mean, I think it's enough to prove that you're a moron. I don't think it's enough to demonstrate why you think Trump is a good president. You didn't seem to mention his policy at any point in that statement. Autumn, I appreciate you for the glowing jellyfish. You didn't seem to mention what he's going to do for America at any point in that statement. And you didn't seem to mention any specific reason why you disagree with the left at any point in that statement.
He's an amazing speaker. Leftists are crazy, man. Come on now. You should know, man. Y'all are just absolutely insane.
Well, I mean, I might agree with you. This one time I saw a leftist just straight up calling for the execution of people on the right. I saw them like threatening to genocide 90 million people across the world. I saw them arguing that we should just overturn the Constitution. Would you say that these things are pretty crazy to do?
Yes, I'm agreeing with you 100%. The left side.
Everything that I just said is something that Trump has personally done.
No. That's something y'all have done as well.
Oh, as well. So you are affirming that Trump has done these things too, meaning that you think Trump is crazy as well.
He hasn't. I meant y'all have done.
Okay, I can give you evidence. I could
Okay,
give you evidence.
give
So
me
he
evidence.
he
Come on,
threatened to
let's hear it.
execute, or he called for the execution of his political opponents on Truth Social maybe 6 months ago. Six Democrats in Congress came out and made a video telling members of the military that if they're given an illegal order from Trump, that they don't have to follow it. And then in response, Trump called them seditious traitors and said that they should be hung, and George Washington would. So he called for the execution of his political opponents. The next thing I said was he threatened to genocide 90 million people. That's also true. He, on Truth Social, maybe 2.5 months ago, referring to Iran, said that a whole civilization will die tonight, meaning that he threatened to genocide Iranians.
Yeah, because
Uh,
they're threatening us. Are you insane, dude? Are you
I
actually
don't, I don't,
insane?
I don't, I don't
He's
think that innocent
protecting
Iranians
us.
are threatening
He's
us.
protecting us.
How are innocent Iranians threatening us?
Innocent Iranian. You don't think Iran is threatening us?
I didn't mention anything about the IRGC. I didn't mention anything about the government structure of the country. I specifically
Okay,
mentioned
well,
Donald Trump's call.
are we a part of the innocent USA people? Are we a part of the innocent here? So
Yeah,
it
I
can
mean, I
go
would.
either way, bro. What are you talking about? Go either way. We're
What can
innocent
go
too.
either
They're
way?
doing stuff to us. I said, you said we're putting innocent Iranians at risk
No, that's
or
not. That's
threatening
not
to
what I said. I said
genocide.
that.
You
I said
said
that
we're
Donald Trump
threatening to,
threatened to genocide 90 million
yeah, 90
Iranians.
minutes. Yeah, you know,
Is that
they
claim
do
true or false?
false.
Okay, so it's not true that he threatened to genocide 90 million Iranians.
Yeah, you didn't do that. That's insane.
Okay. Do you agree that genocide, for instance, would be the
Yeah,
intentional
it's
systemic
terrible.
slaughter of like an ethnic group or a nation
Mhm.
or a national group, a society?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. And do you agree to threaten to do something means to state an intention to possibly do it, or to say that it will
I mean,
happen?
depends on the circumstance.
Can you give me a circumstance where you're stating an intention to do something or saying something
There's
will
a
happen
difference.
without you
There's a
threatening
difference.
to do that thing?
When people are coming at you first and you're defending yourself, there's a difference.
Well, that
You
wouldn't be a
making
case.
a threat.
That
Well,
wouldn't be
they're
a
making
case.
threats
That wouldn't
too.
be a case where
Burning
it's
down
not
our
a
flag.
threat. Okay, that's just a case where you think the threat is justified. Okay, so you do agree that to threaten to do something means to state an intention to do or to say that it will indeed occur, correct?
Did they not chant death to
Can
America?
you
Did
just
they
could
not
you
chant
could
that?
I'm so sorry. Can you just please answer my question?
What was your question?
You weren't even listening. Holy low IQ. Thank you so much for the animal band jam. I appreciate you. Do you agree
I'm
that
low
to threaten
IQ.
to do yes.
You're low IQ. You
Really?
believe
How many
you
continents are there?
7.
Name them.
All right, Europe, Asia, North America, South America, Antarctica, Australia, um, Asia, North America, South America, Europe,
Africa.
Africa. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
sit down.
I
Sit
was
down.
missing the Middle East. I'm
Just sit
sorry.
down. Just sit
I'm
down.
sorry.
You're low
No,
IQ.
no,
I
no.
can't name the 7 continents. Back to the argument. So, do you accept that to threaten to do something means to state an intention to do or to say this will occur?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So then you accept that Donald Trump threatened a genocide because he stated an
Okay,
intention
but they
or
threatened us
said,
first. They said that to America, huh?
okay. So you now accept that it is true that Trump threatened a genocide?
Well, they threatened us first, so he's defending us. So no.
Okay. I'm not asking you. Well, what you just said, like he had some justification in doing so. That doesn't refute the fact that he threatened a genocide. You're just saying that it's justified that he threatened a genocide.
Nope.
Okay, so you do indeed accept that it is true that he threatened to genocide 90 million people.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with anything? What does that prove?
Okay, well, I mean, it proves he's crazy. Because earlier I said, well, if there's some leftists and they're threatening to execute their political opponents, they're calling for or threatening the genocide of 90 million people, and they're like threatening the abolition of our Constitution, like Trump is on Truth Social too, saying that we need to terminate all of its rules, regulations, and articles. Okay, like they would be crazy. Okay, well, I mean, Donald Trump has done all three of those things.
Dude, do you not understand that Iran has been trying to attack us for many, many, many years, man? And Trump, as our president, is defending our country,
Okay, well,
saying
actually,
he's gonna
using
do something. Because he needs to threaten them to make them scared, okay? So they'll stop, so they'll
yeah.
agree to us, so they'll stop doing what they're doing. Do you understand that?
Okay, I have 2 points. My first point is It's literally never justified to threaten a genocide, regardless of what the context
Yeah,
is.
it's not right. I
Can you
agree
please
with
could you
It's
please stop
not.
talking?
No. I agree. It's not right.
Kevin, thank you for the meteor
But
shower. Could you please stop talking while I'm speaking? I'll let you speak.
yeah. All right. Go ahead. Go
The first
ahead.
point that I'd like to make is it's never justified to threaten a genocide regardless of the context. It's never okay to threaten a genocide regardless of the context. It's never sane to threaten a genocide regardless of the context. Like if you were to ask yourself, is it ever sane, okay, or permissible to threaten to rape somebody? Like, no, clearly, in all scenarios of you threatening to rape somebody, regardless of what the context is, you're doing an insane, batshit crazy bad thing. Why? Because rape exists in a plane of immorality, detached and separate from many other actions in the sense that it just literally can never be justified. And I'd say that genocide exists on that same plane of immorality. If it's always wrong to threaten rape, if it's always crazy to threaten rape, if it's always insane to threaten rape, well, then it's always wrong, crazy, and insane to threaten genocide. So you're actually not giving me any pushback on the point that, yeah, this indeed does make Trump crazy. Now, the second thing I'll say here is the context that you gave, well, saying that Iran's been giving us problems, therefore we get to be crazy in turn by threatening to genocide their country, in fact, actually justifies everything the IRGC has ever done to America. Why? Because we fucked with them first. In 1953, with Operation Ajax, we couped Iran's democratically elected leader, installed our own leader, which led to a social revolution hijacked by the IRGC, which gained control over Iran and then implemented their totalitarian regime. Okay, the issue is, from your perspective, you're saying, oh, if Iran fucks with us and we're justified in doing whatever we want in return, well, because we fucked with him first, therefore Iran is justified in doing anything to us in return. According to your logic, they could threaten to kill us all they want. According to your logic, they actually can kill us all they want because we fucked with them first. So maybe it's time to drop the argument that because of anything that Iran has done, it's somehow allowed, permissible, or sane for our president to threaten to genocide 90 million innocent men, women, and children.
Well, bro, I feel like you're just yapping at this point, man. Like, honestly. You just went on a full rampage over nothing, man. Like, I'm just trying to have a simple conversation, and you're over here talking about what happened in the far, far past. I'm talking about happening right now, man. You understand that?
What's happening right now?
What's happening right now is Trump's our president. He's doing a very good job. He's keeping our country. He's keeping our
What's the biggest accomplishment of his second administration?
everything. I mean,
Oh, could you just name one
prices-
thing?
gas-
Gas
gas
prices? So
prices are down.
so gas
They're
prices
down.
going up is an accomplishment?
No, they're going down.
Oh no, right now the price of gas is higher today than it was a year and a half ago under Biden, according to AAA as well as the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Dude, Biden didn't even know where he was.
And
bro.
that's a dodge. And that's a dodge. See, I
Yeah,
asked you to
that's
name
what I got.
the biggest accomplishment from Trump's second administration, and then you say gas prices. Gas prices are
They,
worse off today than they were at the end
defending
of
our
Biden's
country
term.
in the war of Iran. Defending our country in the war of Iran. That's
Oh,
his biggest
defending our
accomplishment.
country in the war with Iran. And how is he defending America by starting a war of choice?
Because he's protecting our people, and he's
Okay.
he's putting.
So what
he's
reason did he have to
he's
start this
putting
war to protect our
dangers that
people?
are he's putting dangers that are against us, and he's getting rid of them.
What reason did Trump have to start the war in Iran?
What reason did he have to start the war in Iran? Well,
Yeah, what was
they're
the
crazy,
specific
and
danger?
They chant death to America, and they burn our flags, and they attack us, and they do all this, and they do all that. You know.
Oh, okay. So you think it's justified to kill civilians because somebody in the government says something? Because that's what you just said. Oh, they chanted death to America, therefore it's okay to kill 186 of their girls at an elementary school in
Dude,
Southern
you
Iran.
know-
Now,
you
the
know-
next thing
no,
that I'll say
bro.
here, pipe
We're-
down here, is that
No,
you're
you
saying that the
pipe down,
danger
bro.
is
You pipe
specifically the IRGC. And he's not getting, and then you said he's getting rid of the danger. That's not true. He's not getting rid of the IRGC. He's not getting rid of Iran's government. I mean, he literally just met a memorandum of understanding with the IRGC, vowing to give them $325 billion just so they would reopen the Strait of Hormuz and reopen negotiation channels for denuclearization. So if you think the issue is just their government, is the IRGC, well, then you think that Donald Trump is failing this nation because he has said very loudly and proudly that he does not want the IRGC to go anywhere because he rather wants to negotiate with them. So in other words, Donald Trump is just emboldening and enabling the danger to America by defending the IRGC in virtue of the fact that we have committed over $325 billion worth of privatized investment from
You
Gulf
realize-
countries.
Dean, do you realize the only reason you think you have a voice right now is because of me? The only reason you have 24,000 viewers in this live is
Kevin, thank you
because
so
of
much for
me.
the well diving. Were you here
You're all
yesterday?
in here
Were you in here
for me.
yesterday when I had 35,000 viewers?
Yes, I was the reason everyone's in here, Dean.
Yeah.
You should know this by now. The
Oh.
only reason you think you're
And
all
what
big
do you
is
think
because
that you're doing to keep people on the
because you're
stream? Can you tell us what you're doing?
because
Zap,
you're
thank
trying
you
to
for the
bring-
Leon the Kitten. I appreciate you. Thank you for the gift, Zap. Can you say thank you, Zap,
You're-
for the
you're
gift?
you're just taking all these poor people's money because you're spreading lies into this freaking TikTok live. Okay,
What's
you're
one
just
thing I've said
lying.
that's a lie?
Literally everything you've said.
Name
today
one specific
has been a
thing.
lie. Just everything, bro. Like
Just name one specific thing. If I've
you
said so
lied
many
about-
lies, it'll be really easy to name one.
Okay, today you lied about Trump being a rapist, not a rapist. There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
There's one thing.
Okay. So just to clarify, you
thing.
reject the outcomes of courts corroborated by the Supreme Court?
Dude,
Zach, thank you for the
Eugene
meteor
Guerra's a
shower.
liar, bro. I hope you know. Eugene
Okay,
Guerra's
so
a
I just want to
liar.
clarify. Is it true that you are saying that you reject the outcome of a court case corroborated by the Supreme Court in a ruling
I'm
to
just saying
reject
you're a liar.
Donald Trump's appeal?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you don't
saying
reject
you're
the outcomes
lying.
of courts. Okay, so then you accept the outcome of the court case that determined that he raped a woman.
Nope. Because it didn't happen. Eugene Guerra's a
So,
liar.
so it didn't
I'm
happen.
saying that
Oh,
didn't
okay.
happen.
Okay, so then you do reject the outcome of courts.
Yep, I do.
Okay, so with what reason do
Because
you
they're
reject
all a
the
bunch of idiots.
With
that's
what
why.
reason? One moment. With what reason do you reject the outcome of the court case that determined Donald Trump raped a woman?
Everything, all the evidence was terrible.
Can you name one
Yeah.
piece of it? Oh, he was removed from the live due to violations of community guidelines. Because of his attitude, he was quite immature. I'm actually going to assume that he was a kid, and he probably got banned for that. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only hop inside of the queue if you are here for debate. Zap, thank you for the Galaxy. Kevin, thank you for the love as well. Abigail, thank you too.
Hello.
Shout out to Abigail, Kevin, and Zap over on the TikTok for the love. Welcome in. Do you
Hello.
support Trump?
Yeah,
How old are you?
18.
What year were you born in? Let's go to get the next guest connected while that guy's in the shower. Only hop inside of the queue if you are here for debate, not for a scrub-a-dub-dub in the bath or the shower, please. Clean yourself on your own time. It's not bath time. It is not bath time. Kaya, do you support Trump? Banned. Moving on to the next guest. Only hop inside of the queue if you are here for debate. Chase, thank you for the $5. Who says you changed my mind after this debate. By the way, thank you. I know this isn't much. I'm happy I changed your mind, man. Thank you, Sean, for the $50 on Venmo. Sean, you are the GOAT. That is so much money. Thank you for the love, bro. Holy cow. Let's get 500 Sean W's in that chat. And thank you for the Galaxy. Sean with the 50 says, keeping me entertained at work and giving me hope for the future. Sean, you are the GOAT. Thank you so much for the love. Huge shout out to Sean.
Sean, you're a goat.
As well as Olivia, thank you for the $20. Who says my usual love and support. Olivia, it's so good to see you today. I hope that you enjoy this stream. Shout out to you. Shout out to Sean and Olivia in that chat. Thank you, you two. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
What? I was W. Sean.
I don't like the acoustics. We're going to move on. Only hop inside of the queue if you're here for debate. Jordan, thank you for the $5. And Emma, appreciate you for the $5 as well. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Dean, I'm not 18. I just want to say I love what you do.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to ban you because you broke the rules. Moving on to the next guest, my Kenna. Over on PayPal, thank you for the €10, Melania. Just popping in to support you. Appreciate you for the love, Melania. George, thank you for the $5. And Kayla, thank you for the $8 on PayPal. I appreciate y'all. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, but please, give me a chance. I have reasons.
How old are you?
I'm almost 18.
Okay, well, I mean, the rules very clearly say that you have to be 18 plus, so we're going to ban you too while we move on to Ruger Walton. Megan, thank you so much for the $40 dono on Venmo. Appreciate you, Megan. Let's get 400 Megan W's. Megan with the $40 says, thanks for another great live. My daughter is a debater and has learned a lot from watching you. Also, every time somebody says I ran, I lose a tiny piece of my soul. Keep up the great work. Yeah, bro. Americans are really bad at pronouncing things. You know, honestly, Iran, that came from Fox News. They just decided to intentionally mispronounce it, and then they just kind of ran with it. I appreciate you for the $40, Megan. Welcome in. Do you support Trump user? Get the fuck out of my live stream. Moving on to the next guest. Only hop inside of the queue if you're here for a debate. Get the fuck out of here.
Only hop inside of the queue if you're here for a debate. Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here! Stop it, bro. Moving on to the next guest. Stop, bro. Oh my goodness. Cats, thank you for the $5 on Super Chat. I hope that you enjoy your uni session. Welcome into Sports Trump Superman.
Yeah.
And we're at like 20 trolls and we've been live for 25 minutes with a debate under our belt. We're still averaging a little bit more than like one troll every like minute and a half. That's pretty bad. Let's go to get the next guest connected. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA guys. If you want to join, hop inside of the guest request. Welcome into Sport Trump, Liam.
Yes.
How do you?
18.
Gunnar, thank you for the galaxy. Could you stomp your foot on the ground, please? Naomi, thank you for the under control. Fuck you. Moving on to the next guest. We got Ant loaded up inside of the queue. Only hop inside of the box if you are here for debate, please and thank you. He was fully in the bath. Thank you so much for the hand hearts, Cassie. Do you support Trump, Ant?
Do you vape?
And I'm going to give you one last opportunity to answer the question. Do you support Trump?
Do you vape?
Okay. Moving on to the next guest. We're at 23 trolls. Only hop inside of the queue if you are here for debate, everybody. Only hop inside of the queue if you are here for debate, everybody. Welcome in. Do you support Trump? Sasha, you're connected to the live stream. Are you here? Are you with us?
Yes.
How old are you?
19.
What year were you born in?
2007, March 17th.
And do you support Trump?
Yes.
And why?
Well,
You left the TikTok app. I can't hear you when you leave. You got to be able to see me for us to be able to hear you.
like, I think the economy is just, like, really strong with him.
Okay. What's one macroeconomic variable that's better off today than it was a year and a half ago under Biden? And by the way, when I say economic variable, I'm referring to things like inflation and unemployment, employment, GDP growth, so on and so forth.
I'm sorry for that, my friends in the background. Well, I think that Biden is, like, really old.
Yeah, that's not what I asked you. I asked you to name one macroeconomic indicator that's better off today than it was a year and a half ago under Biden. And then I gave you an example of like what macroeconomic indicators are. Things like inflation, GDP growth, wage growth, unemployment, employment. Okay, because you said the economy is stronger. So like what's one economic indicator, okay, that proves the economy is stronger?
Well, I think, like, tariffs.
Okay, what's
Like-
a tariff?
A tariff is whenever, like, they charge extra, like, whenever you sell something, like, they have to charge to, like if you're buying something from, like, another country, like, they have to, like, charge extra so that you make money too.
Okay, yeah, that's not what it is. Okay, listen, I just took a look at your bio. You're in high school. Okay, you're clearly not 19. Can you please stop trolling so I could actually debate people? Yeah. Let's go to move on to the next guest. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be here for debate, folks. We're looking for American adults who support Trump. Zap, thank you for the galaxy, my friend. Moving on. Here we go, guys. Thank you so much, A, for the $10 on Super Chat, who says, Dean, did the meditation help at all? Dude, it sure did. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Oh, dude, I was peaceful as hell last night. Zap, thank you for like the billionth galaxy. Appreciate you. We got Wesley C15 loaded up in. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yo, hello? Can you hear me?
Hey, man. Are you MAGA? Do you support Trump as president?
No.
All right. Well, the rules clearly say in the middle of the phone screen that we're just looking for Trump supporters. There's like the 30th troll. Yo, thank you for the $50 KB over on Super Chat on that YT stream. KB, you're the fucking goat, dude. Thank you. Let's get 500 KBWs down below. KB with the 50 says, this is my monthly support for you, Momo, and your girlfriend. As a retired Navy veteran, now college professor, I appreciate your content. Sometimes I offer my students extra credit if they watch you, Santana and Parker. I love that. KB, you sound like a great professor. I wish I was in your class. Let's get 500 KBWs. Thank you so much, man. And Isaiah, thank you for the galaxy. Mr. Grant, welcome in. Do you support Trump? You got 5 seconds
yes, I
here,
do.
man. Oh, there you are. How old are you?
I'm 19. I'm 19.
What year were you born in?
2006.
Okay, 2006. And what month?
October.
Okay, so why do you support Trump, dude?
I support him because of his views on transgenderism.
Morgan, do you support Trump?
I got a question.
I didn't ask you if you had a question. I asked you if you support Trump.
What did you think of Wee Wee Pisses at It?
Okay. Are you going to answer my question or not, Morgan? Like
I
what
love
are we doing?
Trump. I love
Okay.
Trump.
Okay. 2 sentences or less. Why is that?
Huh?
Why is that?
Because he is a beautiful man.
Okay. 42 trolls. Grant, have we
Yeah,
spoken
she's
already?
not very bright. Have we spoken already?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So you support him because of his ideological views on trans people?
Yep.
So like nothing
Is
material that the
this
Trump
funny to you?
administration is actually doing?
What do you say?
Nothing like material or real that the administration is actually doing?
Well, I voted for him in this past election because when it comes to this topic, he has common sense. along
Yeah,
with the
okay.
right
Well, I mean, it
people.
just seems like from your perspective, like the cons definitely outweigh the pros. Think about it this way. So, like, I think that we should like probably support like politicians because of a conjunction of their ideological views and how those ideological views impact the state of the nation that we live in. So, when you just tell me that you simply and only support Trump as a one-issue voter, and that one issue isn't anything practical or material, just like an ideological agreement with him on what the definition of the word woman is, well, the cons definitely outweigh the pros then. Because, okay, what are some cons? I don't know. Killing 14 million people across the globe over the course of the next 4 years. Starting a new war
He killed
overseas that's
14
killed
million people,
160,
you think he's gonna kill
106, yes, 168 girls in an elementary school. Defunding food stamps, defunding healthcare, increasing the premiums for people on healthcare through the ACA by 300%, taking purchasing power away from the working class, endorsing ICE, having illegal immigrants deported with no due process and tortured in CCOT, and destroying the economy as a whole. And we see that symbolized through our jobs reports, which are trash, inflation, which is up, unemployment, which is up, and bankruptcies, which are up. But my point is, these are all like major cons of the Trump administration that gives you great reason to not support him. And if the only pro is one ideological commitment of his that you agree with, like thinking that trans women aren't women, well, then please convince me how this one ideological view that you agree with Trump on, which isn't real, isn't practical, and completely conceptual, outweighs all the cons that I just enumerated.
Okay, well, first of all, one of your cons, you mentioned that you think he's going to kill 14 million people over the next 4 years. Can you please give me a source for that?
I can give you a source for that. So if you look up on Google The Lancet USAID cuts, you'll find a study conducted by The Lancet that entails the conclusion that over the course of the next 4 years, because of Trump's cuts to USAID, 14 million people are going to die over the course of across the globe.
Okay, well, so he's not killing people. Like, you're comparing him to Hitler.
Tracy, thank you so much for the paper crane.
You're comparing him to far worse dictators. And
Okay, I actually didn't make a comparison.
I know, but by saying that he's going to kill 14 million people over the next 4 years, like, that's a bold claim by you.
Okay, well, I mean, it's true because of an action that he engaged in, 14 million people will die.
But he's not directly killing them. So just make sure you fix up your wording on that.
Okay, so he's not directly killing them by, like, I don't know, forcing them in concentration camps and like genociding them all. He's indirectly
Forcing people in
killing
concentration camps. So you are literally like kind of comparing him to.
Bro, I just said that's not what he's doing. My claim was that.
I thought you said that's what he's doing.
My claim was that because of an action that he engaged in, 14 million people will die over the course of the next 4 years.
Yeah, well, it's a bold claim, and it's. I'd like to see that number. Like, how do you even keep track of that? I'd like to see the number count after those 4 years to push back on you, because clearly you're going to be.
So how do you keep track of that, or how do they enumerate that conclusion? Well, first they attempted to see how many lives USAID funding across the globe has saved over the course of the last 22 years, as long as USAID has been in place, and then they use that number to project how many people are therefore going to die over the course of the next 4 years, while accounting for general increases in the socioeconomic countries. One moment, and the socioeconomic of the socioeconomic standard in the countries that they're impacting. They accounted for like other co-founding variables, such as like natural illness that is transmitted and spread outside of USAID. They accounted for like general aid out from other sources, from like the UN, EU, and NATO, and then they just gave like a broad estimate of how many people will die due to the fact that we're defunding USAID. 14 million people is actually on the low end of their estimate. It is 14 million deaths to 22 million deaths. But even if we assume a standard of margin, a margin of error of 50% for the low end of their estimate, this still means that at minimum around 7 million people are going to die. And listen, man, I guess my point is clearly this con, alongside all of the other cons that I enumerated and many others that I did not, outweigh this pro of just an ideological like commitment that you and Trump share of being anti-trans in a completely like conceptual sense.
Okay, well, this ideological view on transgenderism isn't the only reason I support it. I also mainly support him because of his views on rent control.
Okay. Did Kamala Harris run on rent control?
Well, the party, like Mamdani, they all want to freeze the rent.
A, Mamdani isn't the Democratic Party. B, did Kamala Harris run on rent control? I want you to answer. Okay, and Randy Fine is a part of the Republican Party, and he thinks that dogs are preferable to Muslims. Okay. But answer my question seriously. Did Kamala Harris run on rent control?
I have no idea.
Okay, the answer is no. So regardless of what your thoughts are on rent control,
Trump ran on a bunch of stuff.
One moment. Regardless of what your thoughts are on rent control, regardless of what my thoughts are on rent control, neither of the two candidates in the election ran on it. So it is thereby irrelevant to comparative analysis of the views of either of the candidates and what they wanted it to do for the country.
Like, but Biden let so many corporations buy family homes.
Okay, and which Kamala Harris actually ran on banning, and it's not something that Biden let them do. It was just the status quo, which he couldn't get around to fixing in his 4 years, because instead he was working on things like the Infrastructure Bill, the PACT Act, the Chips and Science Act, and many other bills. The point is that Kamala Harris did run on preventing major corporations from buying single-family homes, and including a $25,000 subsidy for first-time home buyers to A, build more houses, and B, make houses more affordable for first-time home buyers when we're in a crisis as a country where the leading cause of financial instability for the average American is the price of rent, is the price of housing. Meanwhile, Trump's over here saying that we actually need to further increase the pricing of houses so we could give more equity to homeowners.
Also, when you mentioned that Kamala Harris didn't run on rent control, I would like to argue with that because she definitely did run on.
Okay, so show me where that was in her enumerated policies prior to the election, please.
Well, she supported a proposal to cap like annual rent increases for certain large landlords.
So I'm asking you to show me where this was on her policy proposals for the 2024 general election.
Well, I mean, I don't have her specific original policy proposal. Okay. Well, do you have Biden's specific policy proposal or
Why
Trump's?
Why are you asking me a question in response to my question?
Well, because you think that's a gotcha moment, but you.
Well, I mean, you're just saying that she ran on this. I'm just asking you to prove it. Do you think it's unreasonable for me to ask you for the evidence for your claim?
Well, no,
it's not. Okay, so it's not unreasonable. So it's not unreasonable for me to ask you for your evidence.
Well, you didn't ask me for a source. You asked me for the specific policy that she, like the original one, which I do not have.
That would be the source. The source would be the policy that she ran on in the 2024 election with evidence that it is a policy that she ran on.
There's other sources that review this stuff more in depth and then provide overviews on it.
Okay, so you're saying that you have a source that reviewed her policy of proposal?
Okay, CNN, is that like they review?
I just want to clarify. Are you saying that CNN did a report on the policy proposal from Kamala Harris?
No,
in the 2024
I don't use CNN
okay.
like you do because it's heavily biased. Okay,
well, you're the one that mentioned CNN. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, I know, because I assume that's what you use. But it's a website. It's called legalclarity.org.
Okay, so are you saying that Legal Clarity did a case study on a policy proposal from Kamala Harris in the 2024 election as it related to rent control?
I mean, I don't know if they did a full-on case study, but I remember reading one of their articles where they said she adopted the proposal as part of the 2024 presidential campaign.
Okay, yeah, sure. Give me that source.
It's called legalclarity.org.
Okay, that's a website, but I'm asking you for the specific reference to the name of the article on that website.
I mean, let me see. Vox.
Vox is not Legal Clarity.
Well, you asked me where Legal Clarity got that from.
No, I'm asking you for the name of the article from Legal Clarity.
Oh, do you want the title of the article?
Yeah, that says that she ran on rent control policy in the 2024 election.
Well, this shows that it's not biased, first of all, but this is what it's titled. It's titled National Rent Control, History, Proposals, and State Laws.
Okay. Yeah, there's literally no article by that title on Legal Clarity's website.
There absolutely is. I'm literally on it right now.
So just to clarify, you said national rent control and historical proposals and state laws?
No, National Rent Control, History, Proposals, and State Laws.
History, proposals, and state laws. Yeah, I'm not finding anything by that name.
How do I like turn on my camera or something? Okay, do you want the URL of it?
Are you sure it's not titled Short History of Rent Control Laws? No, that's Cornell Law Review.
I mean, I can turn on my camera, but I can give you the URL if it makes it easier.
Bro, literally, just look at this. Okay, do you agree that this is the exact title that you told me to type in?
Yeah, but I'm literally on the
Okay.
website right now.
Okay. So, just to clarify, there are no results found on the entirety of Google for legal clarity in
Well, then
quotation
what the
marks,
hell am I
national
on?
rent control, history proposals, and state laws.
I mean, you probably have like filters on to filter out the stuff that goes against your views.
Bro, A, you can't do that on Google. B, it literally says no results found on the entirety of Google.
I'm literally on A. I can turn on my camera to prove it to you.
Maybe you're just A, I don't think that you even have the ability to turn on your camera. And B, I want to clarify, you are not on a website from Legal Clarity titled National Rent Control, History Proposals and State Laws. The reason why I know that is because there's literally 0 populated results on the entirety of Google.
First of all, I mean, if you're going to put in quotes, there's history, proposals,
Okay, yeah, let's get that right. History, proposals, and state laws. There's still no results found.
Okay, well then, let me give you the URL.
How about we just debate something else, bro?
Oh, because you know that the URL would probably work.
Is it a URL that's more than 50 characters?
It's probably like 30.
Okay, so you want me to sit here and type out 30 characters?
I mean, it would probably take 45 seconds if you listen properly.
What's the URL, please?
Okay, legal-rent-org/national-rent-state-control-history-proposals-state-laws/.
National-rent-control. Is it control or controls?
History.
Is it control or controls?
Control.
-history-proposals- and -states-laws.
Yep, and then slash at the end.
Okay, fantastic.
Did that work
All right,
for you?
so where inside of this article does it say that Kamala Harris ran on rent controls in the 2024 election?
Why
are you
It's under the-
telling me to hold on?
because I was looking for it, but because I was scrolling to the top to look at the title, but it's under the section Biden administration's 2024. Scroll down to the next paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
The very, that third paragraph. Vice President Kamala Harris adopted the proposal as part of her 2024.
Okay, cool. It actually looks like you're right. It looks like you've given me sufficient evidence to believe that she
So
did
you just
run on
lied,
some
by the way?
type of. What did I lie about?
You said it wasn't part of her proposal.
So to lie about something means to intentionally say something that's false. I
Okay,
just didn't
fine.
happen
You
to
were
see
wrong?
Her July
You were
rally,
wrong? Is
her
that a
July
concession?
30th rally. Yes, I was
Is that
wrong.
a concession? Okay, so you concede on that?
Yes, I concede that she ran on rent control.
Well, I'm 1-0 for concessions right now, so let's keep going.
Okay, perfect. So at a July 30 rally in Atlanta, she said that she wanted to take on corporate landlords and cap unfair rent increases. Okay, could you show me the specific policy provisions to cap unfair rent increases so we could identify if they are good or bad?
I mean, I'd have to look more in depth into the article and then do some other research on it.
Okay, perfect. Do it. I mean, we're going to need to look at her specific proposal for specifically the way in which she wanted to cap unfair rent increases to identify if it is a good proposal or a bad proposal.
Well, there's some other sources like presidency.ucsb. It mentions that the cap rent increases for large landlords by like 5% per year. There's another part of this from, I see CBS News is reporting that building 3 million new homes and rental units during her
I
first
know what I'm
term.
asking you for would be the specific provisions, okay, ran on by Kamala Harris in the 2024 election, and then an enumeration insofar as why those provisions are bad.
One moment.
I guess in the meantime, make sure that we're double tapping away in that phone screen and sharing this live out with a handful of friends. Hit that little share button, then hit that repost button. Alrighty.
Okay,
I don't think that this guy is going to be able to do it.
Well, first of all, it's a lot. You're asking me to like search for those.
I'm asking. Well,
provisions.
listen. If you're arguing that the reason why we need a rapist as president who tried to end the American democracy and has destroyed the economy
you're burden
is because
shifting.
of one. I'm not burden shifting anything. One moment.
Yeah,
let me
you're
finish.
taking away the. You're taking away the topic.
How could you possibly know that if you don't let me finish my sentence?
Well, you mentioned that he was.
You don't have enough information to reasonably make that claim. I wasn't done with my sentence.
Okay, finish.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're telling me the reason why you want the rapist as president who tried to end the American democracy, that has completely obliterated and destroyed the economy over the course of the last year and a half, giving us the most manufacturing bankruptcies in 15 years and the worst jobs report in 20 years, is because of one specific economic policy that his opponent ran on of quote unquote, as she said, capping unfair rent increases. Yeah, you are going to need to know the specifics of that economic proposal in order to enumerate how it is A, bad at all, and then B, after you've demonstrated that it's bad, you are also going to have to demonstrate that it is worse than the outcomes that we have seen from the Trump administration to be able to effectively argue that when doing a comparative analysis on the two candidates, this explains why you think Trump should be president.
Well, did you get the specific website that says he would kill 14 million people?
Yeah, I told you this earlier. It's called The Lancet, and I told you how to find that study as well. But I'm waiting to see the specifics.
Did he run on that?
Policy provisions.
Did he run on that?
Did he run on defunding USAID? Yeah, because he ran on Doge.
Well, did he run on where's this Lancet getting this 14 million people from? Other than you said
I explained the methodology of the study earlier. And B, it's funny that you just accused me of burden shifting, but now you're actively running away from giving me an enumeration of the specific policy provision.
Yeah, how does it feel?
As it related to rent
control?
Control?
It feel?
I mean, it feels fine. I'm
Okay,
really used to Trump supporters
I
running
have
away
a
from proving a
specific-
point. I'm really used to Trump supporters running away from proving a point. I mean, I'm really used to that. It happens
Hey,
all the
I'm
time.
1-0 right now in concessions, so.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't watch Kamala Harris's July 30th rally in Atlanta.
Okay.
And by the way,
You're
I'd also like to
well-informed, I
clarify
guess.
that I admitted to you that she did indeed run on this policy because you gave sufficient evidence for me to believe that to be the case. Now you have to convince me that this was a bad thing that justifies supporting Trump, or the concession is trivial and meaningless.
Well, because if she wants rent control, like Trump.
One second.
Trump
We
doesn't want rent control.
have to enumerate the specific policy that she ran on, and then we have to do an analysis on if it was good or bad.
I found the policy.
Okay.
On Congress.gov, it's I don't know what section .3561.
Wait.
Home
How
Act
could there?
of 2024. Home Act of 2024.
Wait. This was a proposal from the Biden administration. This wouldn't be the policy that she ran on in the election.
Okay. Well, yeah, it'll carry it over.
Okay. So you're saying that she would have implemented the same policy that the Biden-Harris administration wanted to implement?
Yes, probably.
Okay.
Most likely. I mean, it's in this bill, so.
Okay, fantastic. So, what are the specific provisions?
It says, landlords with more than 50 units would generally lose certain federal tax benefits if they increase rents by more than 5% annually on existing tenants.
Okay. Now, could you please give me an economic study in which demonstrates that if that were to occur, we would see worse economic outcomes than those in which we've observed over the course of the last year and a half under Trump?
Yeah, so rent control helps some people, but makes the overall housing shortage worse. When when rent is controlled, it becomes cheaper, and then these tenants stay in it longer, and then they kind of hog the housing, and then it prevents new people from moving in.
I'm asking you for an economic study. From
so now you want me to find a study? Jeez, you want me to do everything? Am I in school?
Well, I mean, yeah, you have to demonstrate that your claim is true, right? Like,
I
I
mean, you
don't
make
think
all these bold claims, but you never present a source or like
okay,
a
A,
specific policy.
that's just completely false. And B,
You
yeah,
present
if you're
specific
gonna make
policies?
if you're gonna make a claim, if you're gonna make a claim that if that this thing is bad for the country, yeah, like I'm gonna expect you to be able to give me sufficient evidence for that claim. And I don't think 2 sentences is going to be enumerated as sufficient evidence for the claim to be true. Like, yeah, I am going to ask you for a source from an economic institution to demonstrate that if this policy were to be implemented, it would generate worse economic outcomes than those in which we've seen over the course of the last year and a half. Like, yeah, that's true.
Then give me one moment, please. Thank your donors in the meantime. Plug your Venmo.
Just waiting for a source, bro. Yeah. By the way, I don't think you are going to be able to give me an economic study which would demonstrate that the consequences of the implementation of this policy would be worse than the economic outcomes that we have seen over the course of the last year and a half.
I remember actually reading about this study in school. Do you remember the San Francisco experiment or study in like
DB,
1994?
thank you so much for the galaxy. Was the San Francisco experiment study in 1994 limiting tax write-offs for landlords that owned over 50 properties, increasing their rent by more than 5% average annually?
Well, no, but
no?
it's just...
Okay.
Well,
right.
no, first of all,
all right, sounds good.
Elaborate?
Like,
can I elaborate?
We're going to need to explore the specific implications of the policy that she ran on. By the way, I want to let you know that, like, economic institutions do this. Like for instance, Donald Trump, he ran on passing the Big Beautiful Bill. The Center Budget and Policy Priorities, in turn, did a study on the Big Beautiful Bill to enumerate the perceived economic outcomes if it were to pass. And they concluded that, like, for instance, if your income is at or under $51,000 per year on average, that it's going to reduce your purchasing power. And, like, they enumerated the specific trade-offs of the reduction in taxes, which disproportionately gives you more back per year the more money you make, and then the reductions in purchasing power onset by other provisions in the bill, like increasing the price of energy, defunding Medicaid, defunding food stamps, so on and so forth.
Like line
so
in
the
that
point
policy
is,
that does that?
The point is that economic institutions do these things for policy provisions that are ran on by presidential candidates. And that would be an example of it. So all that I'm asking you is, at least for something comparable for, you know, the policy that you're arguing Kamala Harris ran on, so I could at least see and understand why it is true that if she was elected, because of this policy, we would see worse economic outcomes than we're living under today.
Okay, what sources and economic studies have you used to determine that the economic standpoint would be bad?
Oh, just looking at macroeconomic data points, we see slower real median wage growth. We see slower real GDP growth. Last year, we got the worst jobs report in 20 years, ignoring recessions. We only added 181,000 jobs to the economy compared to 2.2 million jobs the year prior under Biden in 2024. Today, our inflation rate is around 1.5 points higher than it was at the end of the Biden-Harris administration, and the Federal Reserve said that if it wasn't for Trump's tariffs and his war in Iran, we'd be at pre-pandemic levels of inflation. There's other indicators as well, like manufacturing bankruptcies last year, according to the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, reached a 15-year high. And according to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, every single financial quarter since the start of Donald Trump's second administration, there's been a declining and worsening level of business investment into our manufacturers after an all-time high under the Biden-Harris administration. Maybe another point that I can make about the worsening state of the economy is that Goldman Sachs did a study on the outcomes of the implementation of Trump's IEEPA tariffs during his first year, and they determined that they taxed Americans around $171 billion, with 55% of that cost being passed off to American consumers, meaning that you and me paid $92 billion in those tariffs. And like 4 months ago, the Supreme Court ruled those tariffs as unconstitutional, meaning that Donald Trump unconstitutionally taxed us $92 billion. Like those are the general things that I'd use to claim that
you blurted a whole lot of words, but all I asked for was an economic study or a source.
Yeah, I indicated the claims, and then I indicated the source. And there I cited the Federal Reserve.
I mean,
I cited
Goldman
Sachs. One moment. I cited Goldman Sachs. I cited the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis. I cited, I think that Trading Economics is a source that I go to for GDP growth.
Well, I cited legal clarity, and you didn't believe that. Until I had to give you the actual URL.
Okay, so if you want the actual URL, for instance, the claim about manufacturing bankruptcies, if you just go on Google and you type in FRED, Real Fixed Private Manufacturing Investment, the first link will be to a page on the Federal Reserve's website where you could see it on the graph. in a way in which makes sense. And I think that they're pulling that data from the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, and it actually cites that as the source for the claim at the bottom of the graph.
Are you scared to debate me? Is that why you're getting all specific with this information, to try and just point yourself away from actually debating me?
You asked me for specifics. I'm so confused.
Now, can we go back to the
wait,
San
wait,
Francisco?
no. You asked me for specifics. Okay. Do you reject that you said, Dean, where are the sources or the economic studies for the claims that you were making? And then I was like, oh, the Federal Reserve. And then you're like, oh, well, this actually isn't like like you had me pull up a website and you had me pull up a website. So I'm going to need you to like do the same for yourself. And then I'm like, okay, you could specifically find this on the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis's website. And they're like, oh, you had me give you like a specific URL. So what's your specific URL? And then I'm like, okay, you could find the very specific URL by going on Google and typing in FRED, real fixed private investment into manufacturing structures. And then I even gave you the specifics for the data that they are pulling for their claim. And now you're accusing me of like being bad faith. So I just want to clarify, you're accusing me of being scared and bad faith for answering the questions that you asked, correct?
Sure.
Oh, okay. All right. I would actually argue that that in of itself is bad faith.
You took it 10 steps further than it needed to be, though.
Okay. Oh, what do you mean I took it 10 steps further? Where? You asked me for the very specific URL reference.
Well, you spent the last 3 minutes like just listing all this information that would...
Yeah, the information that you asked for?
I said you took it 10 steps a little far, but...
Okay, what specific step did I take that was a little far?
The fact that you spent the last 3 minutes just blurting out all this information.
What information did I blurt out that you did not ask for?
You wanted me to search this exact stuff up too.
Well, didn't you ask for the exact thing that you could search up? And you're like, oh, you owe this to me, Dean, because you asked for the same level of information as it related to my claim about legal clarity.
Well,
why are you being
now
so
we're
bad
even.
faith?
Okay, fine, we're even.
Okay. So then take back the claim that I did something bad faith.
Okay.
Okay, good boy.
Now,
Okay. So do you have the study? Do you have the study? Do you have the study? Do you have the study yet to demonstrate that the economic outcomes of the RIT policy that Kamala Harris ran on would be worse for the economy than in comparison to what we see today?
Well, we were talking before you burden shifted. We were talking about the San Francisco 1994 expansion.
When did I burden shift? I never burden shifted.
Yeah, because we mentioned that, and then you like immediately turned it to the big beautiful bill.
No, I was giving you an example of policies that presidential candidates run on and how institutions of economics will do studies on that policy. I was just trying to be good faith. I was literally just trying to help you out. Okay. I asked you for a study from an institution of economics on the perceived or expected outcomes of the policy that she ran on. And I was like, hey man, like institutions of economics do this all the time. And then I gave you a specific reference to an example of the big beautiful bill under Trump. So you're confusing my charitability for a burden shift when in all reality, I was just trying to be a helpful guy. But I see how it is. I see how it is. If I try to be if I try to be a helpful guy, apparently you're going to accuse me of burden shifting. So I guess I'll no longer be a helpful guy.
Okay. So now why can't we talk about the San Francisco 1994 thing?
Because you said that the policy that she ran on was different than the policy that San Francisco implemented.
Are you informed on?
I'm informed on it to a sufficient extent to know that it's irrelevant because you told me that the study was not on policy that gave less tax cuts to landlords that owned over 50 properties and on average increased their rents by more than 5% annually. Okay, so it wasn't the policy that Kamala Harris ran on.
It shows the detrimental effects that rent control has. So it's kind of relevant to our discussion.
Okay, was the rent control that they implemented that was deemed as detrimental the same as the rent control policy that Kamala Harris ran on?
I mean, I don't have the specifics of that.
Okay, well, wouldn't that be fucking relevant?
It's all one discussion. You think rent control is good. I think rent control is bad.
The reason why it's not all one discussion is because, policy is just a means to an end. And there's probably some means, that are ineffective at generating the end goal that you want. However, there's likely other means that are effective at generating the end goal that you want. Now, imagine this. Imagine that, you give me a reference from, the 90s when we, or from Reagan, when we did tax cuts for the ultra wealthy, and it led to stagnation in worker wages with increases in worker productivity and like really hurt the economy as a whole because trickle down economics was a failure. But that was just like you giving a general reference to a source that tax cuts are bad. Okay. Well, in turn, I'm like, okay, well, tax cuts are good. We just have to do tax cuts a little bit differently than the way that Reagan did them. And I can prove that via the demonstrated outcomes of maybe like the projected outcomes on the country from Kamala Harris's proposed tax cuts for the working class. The point is that both of these policies exist under the general theme of tax cuts, yet they operate significantly differently due to the fact that they use different means to achieve the end that they want. So the point is, when you're like attempting to cite me a study on something from the 90s, which was in the general realm of quote unquote rent control, but was it implemented in the same way that Kamala Harris wanted to implement it? Like, yeah, I'm gonna reject that as being relevant, and the reason why I'm gonna reject that as being relevant is because unless it's the same means, of course, it could produce different ends.
You reject it as being irrelevant because it's going to be hard for you to argue.
Okay, I just gave you a different reason than that. So could you respond to the reason that I gave you?
What, that it's not matching, like the same 5.1% or whatever?
Like you just said that it wasn't like how about this? Describe to us the rent control that San Francisco implemented.
Well, so basically, like about 15% of the rental housing was affected by the policy because that 15%
I'm asking you what their policy was.
You always bring up the word policy. Like, you want me to bring up the specific bill again or something?
I want you to bring up the specific rent control that San Francisco implemented so we could see if it's the same or similar rent control to what Kamala Harris ran on.
Let me just give me one moment.
In the meantime, folks, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen. I would say like around 30% of this conversation has just been this guy fucking silent on ChatGPT, but whatever. KB, thank you so much for the $50 over on Super Chat. I appreciate you so much for the love, KB. Thank you. Okay, so now he's starting to get personal. That's how we know that he's
well, you brought it up
debates.
personal. You said I use ChatGPT.
Thank you so much. Yeah, are you not using ChatGPT?
I'm silent because you're making me Google all this shit.
Wait, we know that you're not in Google because the legal clarity article that you gave me wasn't even indexed on Google fucking search results. Yeah, like clearly you're using some type of AI because the source that you gave me was it indexed in Google search results. Like, all of a sudden you start saying that I'm like failing high school, bro. Just shut up and find the source, bro.
It doesn't even
KB, I really appreciate you so much for the $50.
Just because you filter your Google.
I really appreciate you so much for that love. Let's get 500 KBWs.
You filter your Google sources doesn't mean that I'm wrong.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you about that. What do you mean I filter my Google searches in a way in which would exclude the source you gave me?
I mean, I don't know the wizardry you.
Do you think that I use my fucking like telepathy to tell Google to not return results that Grant tells me to?
I mean,
like they're like how did that legal clarity article even go against anything that I said? It was just descriptively talking about the history of the implementation of rent control, and then the fact that at a rally Kamala Harris said that maybe she wants to do something similar. How would I possibly filter out for that? Yeah. The fuck are you talking about?
In the meantime, I found the proposal. It wasn't like an original adoption. It was like an expansion instead. And there was some original law in 1979, and it said something about building with 5 or more units before 1979, and then the smaller buildings that were owner occupied were generally exempt from that.
Okay, so buildings with 5 or more residents had to do what?
Well, buildings that were smaller were generally exempt from the rent.
I didn't ask you about the smaller buildings that are exempt from it. I asked you, okay, so the buildings with 5 or more residents had to do what?
Those are the people that rent control applied to.
Oh, okay, but what was the rent control? That's what I'm asking you.
Let me.
Amy, thank you for the galaxy. And KB, thank you so much for the $50. I really appreciate you. That's over on Super Chat. Let's get 500 KBWs. KB with a 50 says, I forgot to include your office supplies in the last donation. Dude, shout out to KB. Thank you for the love, man. That is very kind of you. I really appreciate you. As well as African Warlord. Oh my God. Thank you so much for the $100 super chat donation. African Warlord, thank you
my
so
gosh.
much. That is
Grifting at its
ridiculously
finest.
kind of you. Thank you so much for the love. I guess I'm grifting at its finest. Thank you so much. Show some massive, massive love to African Warlord down below in that chat. I want to see 2,000 African W's. Genuinely, that is so
Dude,
much
how
money.
can people
I don't-
afford this since this economy is so bad?
I really appreciate you so much. Thank you, Africa. This guy's crashing the fuck out over the donation too. So thank you not only so much for making my day,
I'm distraught
but
because
for
the
ruining
economy's
his.
so bad. How
Thank
can
you
people
so
afford
much.
this?
Did you know that there was people with disposable income that made billions of dollars during the Great Depression? An economy being bad doesn't mean that 0 people have disposable income. An economy being bad just means that less people have a disposable income.
Well, then I
Holy
guess your
fucking
donors
shit.
represent the
Thank you
elite
so
status,
much.
huh?
Thank you so much for the $200 African.
Your donors represent the elite status.
I mean, I think that the elite status is like literally being like a multi-millionaire or billionaire. Okay, I think that you can have disposable income to the point where like you could even like want to donate hundreds of dollars to a person on TikTok without being worth like $100 million. But I mean, I really do appreciate you for the $200. African with a $200 donation says,
Yeah, but
Dean,
they don't
I know that you have
represent
to
the
deal
average
with-
American, according to you and the other debater.
Yes, I would say that like people who donate me $200 because they enjoy the stream do not represent the average American. Yes, it is probably true. And African Warlord with a $200
just
says,
hard
Dean,
because
I know that, dude, shut the fuck up. I've
you
tried to
said
read
the
this guy's
average
message like 5 times. Thank you so much for the $200 who says, Dean, I know that you have deals with TikTok and the far left, so you're able to tell lies on Trump Live. I studied enough MAGA articles, Area 51 theories, and SCP Foundation to know that this is true. You are a liar and you need to apologize now. Say sorry. Dude, fucking love you, bro. You're funny as hell. Show some love to African Warlord down below in that chat. Thank you so much for the love. Huge shout out to African Warlord. Yeah, man. Listen, bro, I'm going to give you maybe like another like 60-second max to be able to articulate the policy that they implemented. Like, I just want to let you know that we haven't
So
pushed
it's
this
called
conversation
Proposition
forward,
1
like,
in
at all,
1994, and it
30
removed the
minutes.
exemption for any owner-occupied buildings with 4 or fewer units, and it brought them under rent control.
Okay. What?
And then on May
was
1st,
the
1994, it
rent
rolled back the legal.
control? What was the rent control?
Huh? What specific are you asking
was
for?
the rent? What was the rent control?
Like, so give an example of what kind of answer you're looking for. Do you want a
Dean,
number?
San
Like,
Francisco's rent
what do you mean by
control
what was the rent control?
was to make it illegal for them to raise their tenants' rent by more than 3% per year, or else they would be fined by the state and sent to jail. Dean, their definition of rent control was to disincentivize people from raising their rent by more than 5% per year by penalizing them with taxation. Dean, their rent control was to forcefully take the properties of people raising rent more than 10% per year. That's what I'm looking for.
It was not a fixed
Thank you for
cap.
the
Like,
galaxy.
rent can be only $1,000 per month. It was like a stabilization policy.
And what was the
What
stabilization
did you just do? What was that?
policy?
What did you just do?
What was this stabilization policy? Like,
Um,
hello?
It was so annual rent increases for existing tenants were capped at 60% of the increase in the consumer price index. They were subject to rules of ordinance, and there was an
What did you
inflation
say?
of
They're capped at
3%.
what?
60% of the increase in the consumer price index.
Okay, what is 60% of the increase in the CPI?
Holy moly! Now I have to do more research. I feel like I'm doing a school project.
I'm just asking you what that even means. Like, what does it mean to cap something at 60% of the CPI?
It basically means rent wasn't frozen.
Okay, so now you're saying that they didn't implement rent freezes.
No, the government limited how much a landlord could
bro.
raise rent each year.
Yeah, real talk. Thank you for the galaxy. Yeah, no fucking shit. I'm just asking you
Okay,
by
okay,
how
let's-
much, in what way, what
I
were the
said there
repercussions
wasn't a
for not
fixed
doing
cap.
this?
They did.
Okay. Yeah, and I understand that you're saying that there's not a fixed cap in the sense that you can't raise it $200. I get that. Okay, so then you're just ruling out what it was, but you're not telling me what it was. You're just telling me something it was not.
I
So
just
telling me
said
something
they-
it was not is not telling me what it is.
I said 60% of the increase in consumer price index, and that if inflation was 3%, a landlord could generally raise the rent by about 1.8% for that year.
Okay.
And then there were other
Okay.
things.
Oh, okay. So
Okay,
60%
wait, let me
of the
make this
CPI.
more understandable for you.
Okay, so you're just
Okay.
saying that San Francisco implemented really like strong rent caps 60% of the CPI, which would be like, I don't know, like I would assume less than like 1%, they could increase the rents annually. But then when inflation exceeded 3%, then they could increase it by 1.25%. And this applied to like all landlords, even people that were just like renting to one individual and they were just a single property owner. Yeah, this is significantly different policy from the description that we agreed on that Kamala Harris ran on. She didn't run on making every landlord in America only be able to like raise their rent by like 1% regardless of how many properties they owned. No, she said that she wanted to disincentivize people by raising it more than 5%, not even make it illegal for them to do so, just disincentivize them from doing so. And this would be specifically and only apply to people that own more than 50 properties. Yeah, there is a significant difference between these two policies. So looking at the outcomes of San Francisco in the 90s would be in no way relevant to the outcomes of the policy that she ran on. The first big difference is that one criminalized it, the other disincentivized it. The next big difference is that one applied to every landlord regardless of how many properties you own. The other only applied to landlords that owned over 50 properties. And then the third big difference is that the first one capped rent increases by like literally 1% or less than 1%. Meanwhile, the other was a tentative cap of around 5%, but you could still continue to increase rent beyond 5%. You would just lose certain federal benefits.
Well,
okay, so because of these major differences in the policies, you can't say that because of the outcome in San Francisco in the 90s, that would be representative or reflected of the projective outcomes from the policy that she ran on.
I'm trying to make it understandable to you, but you're not letting me speak.
Do you accept that I just clarified 4 major differences in the two policies?
Yeah, now can I clarify?
Okay, do you
some
accept
stuff?
that because of those 4 major differences, we wouldn't be able to superimpose the outcomes of San Francisco's rent control into the projected outcomes of the policy that Kamala Harris ran on?
No.
Even though they're significantly different? Wait, if two policies are significantly different,
first of all, you didn't even let me
in virtue of that fact, they can't be compared to one another.
Part of my discussion. You mentioned the 60% of the increase in consumer price index. What does that mean? Okay, so let's say you rent an apartment for $2,000 a month, okay? And the CPI for that year, the inflation for that year is 5%. The law says that the landlords can only raise rent by 60% of the CPI. So then you'd multiply that 60% by 5%, that would become a 3%. So the maximum rent increase for that year would be 3%. So then the new maximum rent will be $2,060 per month.
I understand that, bro.
So even if the market, let me speak, please.
You're just explaining something to me that I already know, bro.
Let me speak, please.
To let you explain something that I already know to stall?
You asked what it was, so I'm explaining it to you.
I explained it to you. After you couldn't explain what it was. I don't know if you're lost. I went on to explain it to you. Do you remember when I went over?
What the 60% means.
Yes, because I wanted you to explain it. You failed to explain it, and then I explained it to you.
You didn't give me a chance to explain it.
Okay, but then I explained it to you. Regardless if you knew or didn't know it, I did explain it to you, so I don't really need you to re-explain it to me. I just went through all of this less than 2 minutes ago.
Okay, well, I have one more sentence because this is what you're gonna have a hard time comprehending. Even if the market rent for a similar apartment had risen to $2,500 per month, the landlord could only charge you about $2,060 as long as you stayed. So, what's the important part? I guess suppose you leave. In your eyes.
Okay, this guy's completely lost. Listen, I'm gonna try this one last time. I enumerated 4 significant differences between the policy that San Francisco implemented for 1 year and the policy in which you argued Kamala Harris ran on. Because of the significant differences in the policies, they can't be comparable in the projected outcomes. Because they can't be comparable in the projected outcomes, you can't use the perceived outcomes from San Francisco's rent control to distinguishingly eliminate Kamala Harris's proposed policy as viable policy that could possibly be beneficial to the economy. Do you concede?
But it's still absolutely relevant to our discussion.
I
know you already explained it wasn't, but
the reason why it's not relevant is because of this. The reason why it's not relevant are because of the significant differences in the policy. Do you accept that there are significant differences in the policy?
I mean, policy is all, like, she could easily change policy in future years. Like, let's say year 2, she changes it. Like,
okay, that's not what I asked you. Do you accept that there are significant differences in the policy from the study that you're giving me from San Francisco and the policy you argued Kamala Harris ran?
I mean, sure, there's a few differences, but it doesn't take away from the overall
do you accept that those
idea
differences
that
are
rent control is bad.
just yes or no? Do you accept that those differences are significant?
Maybe a few.
Okay. If you accept that there are any significant differences, then they can't be comparable in the perceived outcomes because of the significant differences.
Yeah, but the word significant is subjective in your case, by the way.
Yeah,
so.
okay, so I'll define it. A really big difference.
Okay, well, that's still
Do you accept that
subjective.
there are really big differences?
That's a subjective phrase.
Okay, subjective doesn't mean meaningless. Subjective doesn't mean
I
trivial.
mean, yeah, but it creates these nuances.
Okay, I just want to know from your perspective, do you accept that there are really big differences, yes or no?
I mean, from the overall idea, no.
Okay, so explain to me how one really big difference would not be, okay, A, making the rent control significantly lower. Like on most years, it would be you can't even raise the rent by more than 1% because of the CPI data. B, making this apply to every single landlord compared to just landlords that own over 50 properties. And C, making this a legal mandate compared to just a legal outcome that's disincentivized like Kamala Harris ran on. Explain to me why those are not major and significant differences.
Okay, well, because the 1994 thing that showed that whatever policy I mentioned with regard to the CPI, that succeeded in keeping rent lower for tenants who stayed, but it encouraged some of the landlords to exit the rental market.
No, I'm not asking you to explain me why you don't think that the outcomes of the San Francisco rent control were good. I'm asking you to explain why you don't think that these things that were true of the San Francisco rent control that were false of Kamala Harris's proposed policy are significantly different.
Your question is irrelevant because even if it was significant, it would still mean the same thing, essentially.
Okay, you just contradicted yourself. You just said
No,
even if it was significantly different, it would still mean the same thing.
I said it still never takes away from the overall idea.
In virtue of the fact, okay, that the ideas are significantly different, they cannot mean the same thing. They are only identical in semantics, and only identical in the general theme of the idea. This is like saying that because cutting tax for the working class is identical in the general theme of the idea to cutting tax for billionaires, therefore we could compare the outcomes of cutting tax for the working class, which would be beneficial, and use that as motivating reason to then cut taxes for billionaires. Now, clearly, okay, because of the significant differences, okay, in the policy and projected outcomes for cutting tax for the working class compared to billionaires, you wouldn't be able to use the projected outcomes of cutting tax for the working class as reason to then cut tax for billionaires. In a very similar sense, there are very significant differences between forcing all landlords to only be able to legally increase their rent by 1% or less than per year per tenant, compared to just disincentivizing landlords that own over 50 properties from increasing their rent more than 5%, not just per tenant, but on average across all of their tenants.
So you wanted me to you are saying that.
So do you accept that? Do you accept that, yes or no?
Sure, there's differences between this 1994
Do you agree that those
Kamala's
differences are significant to the extent that the outcomes of the first policy do not inform us of the projected outcomes of the second?
No, I don't.
Okay, so then respond to the analogy that I gave you to tax cuts on the working class and tax cuts for billionaires.
Well, I don't even know what analogy you gave, but...
Yeah, because you're a fucking brainless moron.
Well, no, because you were saying a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, whole lot of nothing is the best counter argument I've ever fucking heard, dude.
No, well, because you wanted me to find
by the way, this is just what it looks like when a MAGA idiot tries to be slimy with poor argumentation, and then when their poor argumentation is exposed, they then just like shut down. All right, bro, it's time to hit the ult.
Okay,
would you ever support a violent sexual predator as president?
What?
Would you ever support a violent sexual predator as president?
Good boy. Okay, now can I please
explain
my last point?
Would you ever support a violent sexual predator as president?
No.
Okay. Do you accept that a person would be a violent sexual predator if they engaged in sexual violence?
I mean, I wouldn't, but I don't look at that. I look at policy.
Do you accept that somebody would be a violent sexual predator if they engaged in sexual violence?
Civilly liable.
Do you accept that somebody would be a violent sexual predator if they engaged in sexual violence?
I mean, yeah.
Do you accept that the definition of sexual violence would be any sexual action that's unconsensual?
Sure, but Biden sniffed young girls.
Perfect. So you do accept that sexual violence would be any sexual action that's unconsensual. So in
I
other
love
words,
how you can't argue my point, so you have to...
Yeah, that last debate ended because you told me that my counter argument was a whole lot of nothing because you couldn't comprehend it and you couldn't track the analogy that I gave you either. Projection. But anyways, so you accepted that you wouldn't support somebody as president if they're a violent sexual predator, and then you accepted somebody would be a violent sexual predator if they engaged in sexual violence, and then you accepted that sexual violence would be any sexual conduct that's unconsensual. So in other words, somebody would be a violent sexual predator if they engage in any sexual conduct that's unconsensual. In other words, you wouldn't support somebody as president if they engage in sexual conduct that's unconsensual. Donald Trump has engaged in sexual conduct that's unconsensual, and he's admitted admitted to it too. A really good example of this would be him admitting to barging into the dressing rooms of naked women and girls at the beauty pageants in which he owned on the Howard Stern radio show in 2005 when he said he would just barge in there because
never
he had the
said
ability
dressing
to
room,
because
by
he's
the
the
way.
owner. Okay, and then he would just look at all the naked bodies of the people inside.
He never said dressing room, and
Okay,
he never
tell us what a
said,
dressing room is without using the word dressing room, please.
a place where people dress.
Okay. A place where people dress. So Donald Trump in the clip said that people were getting dressed in this place, meaning it was a place where people get dressed, meaning it's a dressing room.
Okay, well, I haven't seen the clip, so.
Okay, so do you accept that if he said that people were getting dressed in this space, meaning it's a place for people to get dressed, then it was a dressing room in accordance with
I sometimes get dressed in my bedroom. That's not a dressing room.
Okay, so then a dressing room isn't just merely a place where people get dressed. So then redefine what a dressing room is without using the word dressing room.
I don't know. It's a little complicated.
Okay, it's a little complicated to give me the general idea of what a dressing room is. Try your best, buddy.
I mean, you're gonna try trapping me with these gotcha moments no matter what. So
Just tell
Where
me what you
people
think a
put on
dressing room
clothes.
is.
where people put on clothes.
Okay, so Donald Trump said that people were putting clothes in the space, therefore it's a dressing room, right?
Okay.
Right? Do you
Okay.
accept that?
You.
Do you accept
Sure,
that?
I-
If Donald Trump said
Yeah, I
that it was
accept
that people
I
were putting
accept that.
okay.
I
you
accept
have-
it.
done that. Now, tell
Well,
me
I'll
what-
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no
Okay, perfect. He's already said that they're getting dressed, so we already know it's a dressing room. So now let's see what he did in these dressing
That's from
rooms.
2005,
anywhere.
by the way.
And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you accepted that there are dressing rooms, and we accept that in this woman's dressing room, Donald Trump looked at the naked bodies of women and girls. So you accept that is unconsensual sexual conduct, and you accept that therefore, for that reason, you won't support Trump as president. Perfect.
You must have that audio saved to your browser or something.
Yep.
Because that's your last resort when you're losing a debate.
So true, dude.
It is. But,
So you're no longer a Trump supporter, right?
No, I still am because that was
Okay,
from
so you just
2005.
contradicted yourself.
Uh,
Do you remember earlier when I asked
he
you?
was
that if
never
you'd ever-
convicted of any assault.
Do you
by the
remember?
way.
Do you remember earlier? Do you remember earlier when I asked you if you'd ever support a violent sexual predator as president, and you said no? And then I asked
Was
you
he
if
ever
engaging in
convicted?
sexual violence. It doesn't matter.
I mean, it kind of does matter. If
To
he wasn't
to
convicted.
what premise of my argument does a conviction or the lack thereof reject?
Well, because a conviction shows that there is beyond reasonable doubt. That
You know
they
what else
committed
does?
it.
You know what else beyond outside of a conviction shows that they did this beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt? Him admitting to it.
Okay, well, he was saying that to be cool or funny.
Okay. Okay. He was saying that to be funny. So you think that he finds it funny to engage in sexual violence?
It was a little joke.
Okay. So yeah, you think that Donald Trump thinks it's funny to engage in sexual violence?
You've said things you regret.
Okay. You're not answering my question. Are you saying that Donald Trump finds it funny to engage in sexual violence?
No, I think that was a
Okay,
little.
so then he wasn't
lighthearted
saying
joke
it to be
he
funny.
made.
Do you make a joke to be funny?
The people around him thought it was funny.
Okay, so he said it because he was around people that thought engaging in sexual violence was funny, but it's
Yeah,
not
perhaps.
something that
I
he
mean,
found
I
funny.
haven't talked to him.
Okay,
so-
what's the reason to believe this?
I mean, Howard Stern is a good friend of his, and he's also a
Okay,
connection.
Howard Stern was a good friend of him. Therefore, he was not telling the truth. Therefore, he was saying something that he thought Howard Stern would find funny that he didn't personally find funny. Well, actually, he said at the beginning of the clip that this is one of the funniest things he's done. So we know that he found it funny.
Okay.
So do you accept that Donald Trump finds sexual violence funny?
I mean, it was in 2005. Times were different.
Oh, okay.
Jokes
So
like
in
these were
2005, did Donald Trump find sexual violence funny?
No, I doubt it. I heavily.
Oh,
doubt
okay.
that.
Then why did he say that it was funny?
I mean, he repeat that
No.
question.
Why did he say it was funny if you doubt that he found it funny?
Because he was being taped. Some people say things on video.
Oh, okay.
to be funny.
So not only did he not mean it when he said he'd barge into their dressing rooms, but he also didn't mean it when he said it was funny. Well, now this is kind of getting to a really unrealistic, nearly like cult-like rejection of reality. Like, I mean, let's be honest here.
He's changed.
Of course he meant what he said and he did what he said because that's what the women and girls said he did too. Okay.
Okay, he
so
was never
admitted-
convicted of that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that
It
he admitted
does.
to
It
doing it, and
does.
the victims corroborated his admission of guilt.
It does matter though if you're not.
Oh, it does
convicted.
matter. Did Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein act alone?
I doubt they acted alone.
Okay. Was anybody else in the Epstein files convicted of it?
No, because
Oh, okay.
I
So
mean,
okay.
there's
So
a big
so now you accept that people can be guilty of sexual violence without being found guilty of sexual violence in a criminal court of
Well,
law.
yeah, first of all, that's a big.
Which, by the way, I just want to clarify here is actually aligns with the findings of Rain.org, who report only around 2% of rapists will face full legal accountability in the eyes of the law. So once again, I think that I've made my case clear. He admitted to
You're
engaging in
guilty
sexual
until
violence.
convicted.
What?
You're guilty until proven, or you're innocent until proven innocent, or you're innocent until proven guilty.
In a legal sense, or in all senses?
In like when you're convicted, like.
Okay.
in
Okay.
the-
So like somebody raped you. Is it false that you're a rape victim until they're found guilty of it in a court?
I mean, legally, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So do you think that the standard of legality should be our only evidentiary standard of truth?
I mean, from a legal like it's again.
I'm asking you from from a knowledge standpoint, from
Okay,
a truth
for me
standpoint. Do you think that
personally-
the standard of legality is the only evidentiary standard of proof?
For me personally, but if I was if someone was falsely accused of assaulting me, then I wouldn't.
Is the standard of legality the only evidentiary standard of truth? Yes or no?
No. To me, no.
Oh, okay, fucking perfect.
But
So
from a
when you're
legal
telling me,
standpoint,
when you're telling me, we're not. Listen, like truth is not indexed to any specific standpoint. Truth stands alone. Okay.
He's changed. Okay, can you agree with that?
Now you're dodging. Okay, so you accept that the legal system is not the only evidentiary standard of proof. Okay, perfect. So even though there was no court that found him guilty, this doesn't mean that I cannot provide evidence to justify that he did this thing, per the fact that we agree that the courts aren't the only standard of evidence. Okay, what's another standard of evidence? Like reasonable belief rooted in justification. And I hold the reasonable belief that he barged into those dressing rooms and looked at the naked people inside, rooted within the justification of him admitting to it.
Okay, maybe
and the
that
victims
joke he
corroborating
meant it.
his admission of guilt.
Maybe he meant that joke, but now
What's
he
the
might
evidence that
be
it was a
changed
joke?
man. I mean, that you said he thought it was one of the funniest things in the world or whatever.
Okay, can you actually do something and find it funny? Or can you only find things that you don't do funny?
No, you can actually do him funny.
Okay, so that's not sufficient evidence that he didn't do
But
it.
the whole thing, he's changed. People can change.
Okay, so then you accept that he did do it, but he's changed?
Yeah, just like you said the N-word. Does that
Okay,
mean you
perfect. So
still
then you
stand
admit
by
that you don't support Trump. Because earlier I asked you if you'd ever support a violent sexual predator as president, and you said no.
I mean, this conversation has made me stand by him even more.
Our conversation about him sexually exploiting the naked bodies of little girls.
No, like the rent control and all that too.
The rent control conversation that you lost because you couldn't demonstrate that there was
no proof they
sufficient
were little
difference
girls 'cause you
between
never
the
said
two. Between the two bills. Okay, yes or no? Do you remember earlier saying that you would not support a violent sexual predator as president? Do you or do you not remember saying that?
Let me clarify. If they were convicted,
No, I
would
don't
not
want you to
support
fucking
them.
clarify. Did you or did you not say that you would never support a violent sexual predator as president?
I remember that, but I meant to say that if they were convicted, I wouldn't support them.
Okay, so if somebody running for president raped you, but they never got convicted for it, would you vote for them to be president?
I mean, no. I mean, me personally, no. But from a legal standpoint, that won't stop other people. from voting.
Fucking fantastic. Okay, so then they don't need to be convicted in court. And why would the conviction in the court be relevant? If you knew that they did it, why would you need them to be convicted in a court in order for you to not support them as president? The
Being
only
convicted
reason
shows there's
why...
beyond reasonable doubt. Okay?
Oh, okay. So then you're saying the reason why the conviction would be relevant to you is because it would give you more evidence to believe that they did it. Okay, well, that's not relevant because you already accepted that you have enough evidence to believe that he did it because you conceded that he did it.
I don't even know how we got to this conversation.
Dude, you're lost, dazed, and confused. Listen to me closely. You just revised your earlier statement to be that you would not support a violent sexual predator as president if they were found guilty of it in a court. I then went on to ask you, well, why do they need to be found guilty of it in a court? And you said, so you have sufficient evidence to believe that they did it. Oh, but
Not
wait.
sufficient, but more than enough. Adequate evidence.
Adequate is a synonym for sufficient. Holy blunder. Oh, but wait. Earlier, you actually accepted that you already have adequate evidence to believe that Donald Trump did this. So why would the court conviction matter?
Because some people are falsely accused of things. Okay.
Okay.
Trump was a powerful man. It would be so easy for people to falsely accuse
So you're saying
him
the
of stuff.
reason why you need the court is because some people are falsely accused of things. Okay, well, earlier I asked you what's the relevance of the court, and you said because it would give you adequate evidence. So in other words, in order to account for the possibility of him being falsely accused, you need adequate evidence. Well, I've already given you adequate evidence, and you've already conceded that the
That was
evidence
not
was adequate.
adequate evidence.
Then why did you concede that it was?
Him on video saying that?
1 second, then why did you concede that it was adequate evidence? I could roll back the VOD less than 10 minutes ago. You accepted that he did it. You accepted that he did it based upon the evidence that I gave you, which means you found the evidence to be adequate.
I accepted that he did what?
That he did what he said he did in the clip, that he was telling the truth, that he went into those dressing rooms, that he saw the naked people.
He said that, but
okay, do you remember accepting that it was something that he did, and then you argued that he's just changed his mind?
It was something he said.
No. Do you remember accepting that he did it?
That he did it as in said that?
That he did what he said he did.
I didn't see any video of him doing that. So
I didn't ask you if you've seen a video of him doing it. You're actually like idiotic. Listen to my question, because it's not.
You're trying to
have
put
you
words
seen a
in my
video
mouth.
of him doing it? My question was, do you remember less than 10 minutes ago conceding that he did it?
No, I don't.
Okay. So then we'll go back through it again. Why do you not agree that he did this thing, considering the fact that his admission of guilt was corroborated by victim testimony, and there's not another circumstance that you could identify of a man sitting down on a podcast and falsely claiming to have engaged in sexual violence when in all reality he didn't?
As I said, because he was not convicted.
Okay. All right. Well, we've already went over this. This is circular, because you're saying the reason why the conviction would matter is because it would demonstrate adequate evidence to believe that the belief is true. However, I'm arguing that I am supplying another form of adequate evidence for you to believe that the belief is true.
That video clip is
you've
your
already
evidence.
conceded that you don't need a conviction to believe that something occurred when you accepted that the criminal justice system is not the only standard for truth. There are other standards of truth, such as the fact that we could provide justification for this occurring based on his admission of guilt. And D, you've already accepted that you think other people are violent sexual predators without them being convicted in a criminal court, like the co-conspirators of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. So when you just said that, I don't believe that he did it, regardless of the amount of evidence that you could give me because he's not been convicted into court, you're walking back on believing that the other people in the Epstein files are guilty. You're walking back on believing, per your admission, that there's other standards, that there are other standards of truth outside of the court system. And C, you're walking back on your previous statement that you conceded it was something that Trump has done, but he's just a changed man. So you are literally contradicting everything that you have said in the last 20 minutes of the dialogue by arguing that in order for you to believe it, he must be found guilty of it in a court of law.
Your evidence was that video clip, okay?
My evidence was him admitting to it, corroborated by the victim testimony. If you lived with a man and you knew that this man was at a party last night and he comes home from that party and he says, "Sir, Grant, whatever your name is, I raped a drunk woman at that party," and then you turn around and you talk to all of the women that went to that party, and you found a woman who says he raped me at that party, do you think that you'd have sufficient evidence to believe that he's a rapist, yes or no?
Well, Trump never said that, so that question.
I didn't ask you if Trump said those things. Was my question, did Trump say those things? Was that my question?
No, but you were giving an
Okay, so then you're not answering the question that I asked you. Fan-fucking-tastic. I will ask it again. You live with a roommate. He's a man. You know that last night he went to a party. He comes home from that party. He tells you, "Grant, last night I raped a drunk woman at this party." You turn around, you talk to the women that went to this party, and you find one that says that your roommate raped her. Would you argue, in lack of a criminal conviction, that you have adequate evidence to believe he's a rapist? Yes or no?
I'd have to hear some more evidence rather than just
yes
their
or no.
testimony.
Yes or no.
The way you put it, no.
Okay, yeah, you're fucking insane. By the way, you're just completely erasing all of sexual violence. If you're saying that the perpetuator of a sex crime admitting to it to you and the victim saying that, yeah, he did that to me is not enough evidence of a sex crime, you've just completely lost your mind.
He was so rich.
I'm sorry. That you're just like what you were doing is you were justifying sexual violence by erasing it to begin with.
Absolutely not.
Yes, you are. Because if sexual violence doesn't exist because you don't think it could be proven, therefore it doesn't exist, well, then it's certainly not wrong.
It's going to be hard to prove, but it doesn't mean that.
What kind of evidence? What kind of evidence do you think is required to prove sexual violence?
video and just some more stuff.
Video? Okay. So video evidence. So you're saying if there's not video evidence, then you can't prove sexual violence. Is that your claim?
I mean, no, but video would be more than enough. But there's also some other stuff. But just
like
hearing
what?
A few people say,
like what?
Hundreds of witnesses.
Hundreds of witnesses? So you either need a video or hundreds of witnesses?
Okay, but I mean, just you were going to turn that analogy back to Trump despite saying that had nothing to do
But by the
with
way, basically what you're saying is that if you go to a party where 20 people are at and a man rapes a woman...
If they all said that,
if a man,
yeah,
okay, well, that's not hundreds of witnesses.
Okay, well, 20 is
Why is the rapist admitting to it not enough? Can you actually explain us to why?
Where did he ever admit that? Can you show me where he admitted that?
I want you to explain to us all. And you, by the way, you accepted this. And by the way, you accepted this in the analogy too. Okay, in the analogy, you said that if your roommate admitted to raping a woman at a place that you knew that they were actually at, and then the woman he says he raped also said the same thing he did separately, that you would not have enough evidence to believe that he did it. Convince us that that is reasonable. Okay, give me the argument that your roommate admitting to raping somebody at a place that they knew that they were at and their victim saying the same thing separately is not enough evidence to believe that it occurred. Convince us that that is reasonable.
I mean, it seems reasonable.
I'm not asking you what it seems like. I'm asking you to convince us that it is. What's the argument that that is reasonable?
From what you said, like that, whatever you said, that seems
stumbling.
plausible.
He can't give us a case insofar as why it's reasonable to reject that that's enough evidence to believe that it occurred. What's the argument?
Well, I agree with you on this part.
No, you don't. Because I asked you if that would be sufficient evidence to believe that your roommate is a rapist, and you said no. We very clearly disagree.
Because the way you put it, I would say no. Because you tried.
Yeah, the way that I put it was your roommate
that...
going to a party last night that you knew he was at, and then he comes home and tells you, at this party, I raped a drunk woman.
Yeah,
and then the woman that he says he raped said it too.
To that. What don't you understand?
We're talking about the stipulations and the hypothetical that you said would not be sufficient evidence to believe that the rape occurred. Okay, so I want you to answer the question. Convince us that it is reasonable to believe that a rapist admitting to being a rapist, and then the woman he said he raped also saying that he raped her, is not sufficient evidence to believe that he's a rapist. Convince us that is reasonable to believe.
Fine. If Trump said that
we're not talking about Trump individually. This is a broad
This is an analogy supposed to be representing Trump.
It is a broad conversation surrounding any man or anybody telling you that they raped somebody at a place you knew that they were at where they could foreseeably rape somebody, and then the person they said they raped also saying the same thing. You said that would not be enough evidence.
Guilty.
No, you already said that you wouldn't. Okay, so you concede.
No.
Oh, you don't concede. So then you don't believe that would be enough evidence to believe that they're guilty.
No.
So which one is it? You said two things. The first time you said that wouldn't be enough evidence for you to believe that they're guilty.
N-word. You still
and then the
stand by
second
that?
thing that they've said is that would be enough evidence for you to believe that they're guilty. So which one is
said
it?
the N-word.
Do you
still stand by
concede?
that?
Do you concede? Do you admit that you were wrong when you said that wouldn't be enough evidence to believe that they're guilty? Or do you not concede? And are you doubling down on your statement that that would not be enough evidence to believe that they're guilty? Do you concede or do you not concede?
I concede. And so now
good
it's a 1-1
fucking
tie.
boy.
It's a
Good
1-1
fucking
tie.
boy. That's right. Thank you so much for conceding. Good
You still
fucking
stand by
boy.
saying the-
Okay, so do you understand now how absolutely unreasonable and insane it was earlier when you said, oh yeah, my friend could tell me that they raped somebody, tell me who they raped, and then the woman who they told me they raped could tell me the same thing, and I wouldn't believe it. Okay, do you realize how unreasonable that was? Do you realize how insane that was, Grant? Do you realize how crazy that was?
I mean, it only sounded crazy because I kept thinking of your stupid analogy to Trump.
Oh,
trying to
as
say
long
that
as
Trump
Trump is the man,
never
you wouldn't
admitted
believe it. Okay, so Trump didn't admit it. So then did you have like beeswax in your ears earlier where we listened to the audio of him saying, I would go into the dressing room because you said that a dressing room is just a place where people get dressed. I would then look at their naked bodies. I would then leave.
Is that him admitting to assaulting someone?
That's him admitting to exploiting somebody, sexual exploitation, or just generally sexual violence.
So that's not the same as assaulting someone.
It's engaging
okay, that's
in
not the
sexual
same as rape.
Yes, sexual exploitation is not the same thing as rape. But what's in question here is not
your
the action that
analogy
they admitted
included
to.
rape.
Because that's not what was in question. The thing in question was not the action that they admitted to, but rather is the fact that they admitted it enough evidence to believe they engaged in that action. That's what's in question.
You
Okay,
guys
so
were
you,
all...
so you just admitted that we do have enough evidence to believe that Donald Trump engaged in sexual violence. No, it was what
He's
you're gonna say.
changed.
You're gonna say no. Oh, he's
Yeah, I'm gonna
changed.
say no, but he's also changed.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So which one is it? Did he not do it, or did he do it and he's changed?
He said it. That doesn't mean he did it.
Oh, well, we actually
said it
just
as a
accepted
joke.
that it does. You just accepted that it does mean that he did it because in the analogy, you accepted that is a sufficient level of evidence. to
Yeah,
believe
that was
it
in the
occurred.
analogy.
Okay, well,
The
what's the
analogy
difference
was
between the
completely
analogy?
different from
What
what you
was
wanted
the
to
relevant difference?
The fact that you used rape as an example.
I've already
instead of
explained
Trump.
this. The thing that was in question was not the action they admitted to. The thing that was in question is, do we have enough evidence to believe they engaged in the action, regardless of what it was, given that they admitted to it? So that is not a relevant difference.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Do you accept that that's not a relevant difference because it wasn't the thing in question?
No, it definitely is a relevant difference.
Do you agree it was not the thing in question?
There were two things in
thank you for the
question in
Viking
two
hammer.
different situations.
No, there was one thing in question. The one thing in question was, if somebody admits to sexual violence and their victim says they did it too, is that enough evidence to believe that they did it? That's the thing in question, because that's what you're disputing about Donald Trump admitting to sexual violence, and then the women saying that he sexually violated, saying he did it too. That's the only thing in question.
Fine. Then if Trump said on video that he raped
thank
someone,
you.
then I wouldn't support him.
Okay, but if he says on video that he sexually exploited somebody, you will support him? Because you
He
don't
never
think that
said
he did the
either.
sexual exploitation.
He never
Let me
said.
thank you so much for the galaxy. Oh, so you don't
exploited
think that a
anyone.
man barging into a woman's dressing room to then unconsensually look at the naked women inside by abusing his position of power over their position of vulnerability is sexual exploitation? So what is sexual exploitation? Because if that's not sexual exploitation, what could possibly qualify as sexual exploitation?
He said it's something he would do. He said it's never. He didn't say it's something he did do.
Actually, yes. He said this is something that I do. This is something that I do. Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh, okay. It's a little weird, but I mean, it's something you can't get convicted of.
Oh, okay. So you accept that he did it.
He said that, yeah.
Okay, so do you accept that what he said he did and what he did do is sexual violence?
I mean, I wouldn't call it like violence because he's not hurting someone.
Okay. So it doesn't hurt somebody to infringe on their dignity, to infringe on their consent, to infringe on their their right to privacy, and to extend on their boundaries.
Physically.
Oh, okay. So you think that you need to physically touch
Yeah,
somebody in order
it's
to violate
emotionally
them?
violent. Yeah, it's emotionally violent.
Okay. Okay. So then you accept that as violent?
Did he say it was unconsensual?
Yes, duh, because it's in a woman's dressing room. In virtue of the fact that it's a woman's dressing room, a man's not allowed inside.
He never said woman's dressing room. There could have been boys in there.
Well, actually, no. He said that there's no men anywhere.
Do you have that clip on him?
Yes, I do.
And it's your obligation.
Oh yeah.
to do
In
that.
the meantime,
So you have done that. Now, tell
Well,
me
I'll
what
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere.
There you go.
okay, he could have just said that.
But you already accepted that an individual that is telling you that they've engaged in sexual violence, corroborated by the victims of said sexual violence, is sufficient evidence to believe that they did it. Now we're just going to go back to the question. If you live with a roommate, you know that he went to a party last night. He comes home and he tells you, Dean, at this party last night, I raped a woman. And then you find the woman that he said he raped, and she says the same thing. Is that enough reason to believe that he indeed did do it?
Sure, because
Okay, so then you do accept that him saying that he did this, and that being corroborated by his victims, like Mariah Belgado from Miss Teen USA 1997, or Tasha Dixon from Miss USA 2001, is sufficient evidence to believe that he did what he said. So you can't just say, oh, I object to the fact that he did what he said, after you accept that the standard of evidence of him saying it and that being corroborated by the victims is sufficient evidence for you to believe it. You're basically saying that you reject believing something that you self-admittedly acknowledge is reasonable to believe. You are saying that you are refusing to believe what is reasonable because if you were to believe what is reasonable, it would incriminate Trump as a bad guy that shouldn't be president. And that is the problem with you. That is the problem with all the other Trump supporters that joined the live stream. And that is generally the problem with MAGA. You guys are sheep. You are fucking sheep of a flock. You are nothing more than a little android being controlled by, the 21st century's madman who's destroying our country, threatening to conquest and invade our allies like Greenland, taking rights away from those that need it the most, women and girls and immigrants, okay, having people killed in the name of justice, murdered in broad daylight like Alex Preddy, and then when push comes to shove, and I'm able to not just prove to you that it's a reasonable thing to not support him, but get you to admit that it's a reasonable thing for you not to support him. You just refuse to believe in reasonable things? Is that where we're at, Grant? Are you now just refusing to believe in reasonable things that you have acknowledged are reasonable things?
Why am I wrong for supporting him as a president. Do you support predators as presidents?
This guy's fucking dodging.
How? I'm asking you a question.
No,
you
I
asked
don't
me.
support. I don't support violent sexual predators as president. Absolutely, never
Okay,
will.
what about
never, ever will. Okay, but I'm not going to let you pivot here. Oh, what about Biden? What about Biden? Yeah,
Yeah,
what about
exactly.
you
What about
responding to the
Clinton?
last thing I said? Okay. Let's go ahead and hear you respond to the last thing I said. You admitted that it's reasonable to believe that Trump said that Trump did what he said, rooted within the analogy that I gave you. So if it's reasonable to believe, why don't you believe it?
Well, I do believe it.
Oh!
I do believe it.
Okay, so you're not a Trump supporter.
But he's changed. No, I am a Trump supporter.
Oh, okay, but he's changed. Prove it. Prove that he's changed.
Well, because nothing has come to surface since that.
Okay,
like,
and why
especially
does
since he's been
nothing coming
in
to
office.
surface since that prove that he's changed?
Because are there videos of him saying he regrets anything?
No.
I'm pretty sure. Well, okay. Well, you said the N word and you changed.
Okay,
so
okay, so you're not proving that Trump changed. Where's the proof?
Stop dodging.
Okay, you stop dodging. You said that he changed. That's a positive claim in which you possess a burden of proof to demonstrate as being true. What's the evidence?
Time. There, that's the evidence. Time.
Oh, wait. So you're saying that over time, all people change?
I mean, yeah, with time, a lot of people can change.
With time, everybody does change, or
No,
they can change?
I said, with time, a lot of people can change.
Oh,
I never said
okay.
everyone.
So can
Don't
doesn't
put the
imply
word
does.
everyone in my mouth.
Okay. So if it's not everybody, then you can't automatically assume that Trump is a part of the group of people that that do change. Okay, so what's the evidence that he
but
did
you
change?
can't say he's not. You can't say he's not.
Well, I mean, A, that's patently false. B, that's a pivot. And C, you made the positive claim that he did change, so what's the evidence?
I mean, because at this point, he's benefited a lot more people.
Wait. So you're saying in virtue of the fact that he's president, doing things that you think are good, he's changed?
I mean...
Oh my God, bro. And let me guess. I could give you evidence that he hasn't changed. He covered up the release of the Epstein files.
He wanted to release them first.
At first? Yeah. Before he was in office and had access to them and all the updates to them from the last 4 years? Yeah.
The Democrats could have had all their time to release them.
Another fucking dodge. Is it true or false that Donald Trump covered up and continues to cover up the release of the Epstein files?
I mean, I think there's some odd activity going on there.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so you accept that he's covering up the release of the Epstein files. This would give us some reason to believe that he hasn't changed, because if he had changed, he'd condemn sexual violence, and clearly that's not being represented through the actions of his administration.
But that's also
now, the second really strong,
that's not him directly.
now the second really strong piece of evidence is in 2021, Donald Trump did an interview in which he said that he's never repented to God for anything in his life, and he's a Christian. In order to change, in order to repent for your sins, in order to become a better individual under the Christian worldview, you have to repent to God. And when Donald Trump says that he's never repented to God, that's him saying that he's never repented for his sins, and therefore, in virtue of that fact, he certainly hasn't changed. You were just being a bad faith little fucking weasel. This is what a bad faith weasel. Oh, how am I bad faith? It took me an hour to convince you. Oh yeah, now you're gonna start going fucking crazy and losing your shit because you have the fucking I got the pedal to the metal on you right now. Oh, how are you bad faith? It took you 42 minutes for me to convince you that it's reasonable for us to believe that Donald Trump engaged in sexual violence, because he said he engaged in sexual violence, and 3 more trillion victims corroborated it.
Okay, can I say how you're bad faith?
No, I'm not going to let this little boy yap and ramble and stall as it would relate to giving evidence that he has changed and refuting the evidence that I've given you that he hasn't. But that's not even relevant to the conversation. I appreciate you with Galaxy. Earlier, do you remember saying that if that you wouldn't support a violent sexual predator as president?
Sure, yeah, I remember that.
Okay. And obviously you take that one back, right?
I wouldn't support a violent offender as president.
Okay, so then you don't support Trump.
Well, then I guess you don't support Biden or Clinton.
Okay, so you don't support Trump and I don't support Biden and Clinton.
I support his policies, not him. Let's say that.
Okay, perfect. All right, awesome. I'm so happy that we could agree. Thank you for conceding the topic of the stream. The stream says, how do you still support Trump? And you're now conceding that you no longer support Trump.
Well, it's different to support his policies versus supporting him.
What? Okay,
You
so
asked
you
me
don't.
why I voted
So
for
just to
Trump.
clarify, you don't support Trump as president, correct?
I mean, I support the policies he runs.
You're not
never
answering my
support
question.
anyone
Do
as
you
president.
support Trump as president?
Yes, I support
Lumi,
his
thank you so much for the
policies.
Galaxy Globe. Okay, so it is true that you support Trump as president. Now we have a contradiction. You said that you wouldn't support Trump as president if he was a violent sexual predator, and now you're saying that you do indeed support Trump as president, regardless of the fact that he's a violent sexual
Because
predator.
it's a nuanced question.
That it's not a nuanced question. That is an
It is.
explicit contradiction. Unless you're equivocating on the language being used, that is an explicit contradiction. So you have two options. Either you have found yourself in an explicit contradiction, or you are committing a fallacy by equivocating on the words being used. So you're either being fallacious or contradictory. Which one is it?
I'm being like practical here.
No, those are your only two options.
Why am I being limited to two options?
I'll tell you
The
why.
two
again.
options that you picked.
No, that's not the two options that I picked. That's the two options that
you
Logic
did.
picked. That's not what I picked. That's what Logic picks. I'll prove it. So you're either being contradictory because you're engaging in a contradiction. You're saying it's simultaneously true that you wouldn't support Trump if he was a violent sexual predator as president, and it's also true that you do support Trump as president regardless of the fact that he's a violent sexual predator. Okay, that's a contradiction. Now, what's the second option? In order for that to not be a contradiction, in the first scenario, you must mean something differently by support him as president than you do in the second scenario, which means that you're equivocating on the usage of your terms. And due to the fact that you're equivocating on the usage of your terms, you're engaging in an equivocation fallacy. Okay? So that's why it's either true that you're engaging in a fallacy or you're contradicting yourself.
Okay, let me explain. So I support Trump as president because
No.
of his
You've been super bad faith this entire time. That's what MAGA is. They're just a bunch of super bad faith weasels. We're going to move on to the next guest, only up inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump. We have a couple people to thank. If you want to support me, folks, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok. Pin message over on YouTube, as well as the handle for my Venmo and my PayPal are always at the top of the phone screen. It's just my name, Dean Withers, without the letter E in Withers. Joseph, thank you for the Galaxy. Welcome in. Do you support Trump, Sam?
Hi, Dean.
Hello, Sam. I hope you have a good rest of your day. For the 31.5 thousand people hanging out with us on TikTok, I really appreciate y'all so much for being here. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. We're going to go to get that next Trump supporter loaded up right now. I bet Santana's not a Trump supporter, just to let y'all know in advance. Let's go to get the next guest, Hunter, connected. Welcome in, Santana.
Yo, you are so much better than me because I would have been crashed out, but the way that you were pressing him, I knew it was going to be one of those types of situations where you weren't going to stop until you broke.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
like,
He was
why
getting
do
pressed
you
hard
have
as
to
fuck.
do that?
He was getting pressed hard
Like-
as fuck.
Like, why? Why do you have to go through all of that just to, like, get him to be logically consistent and honest?
And by the end, he wasn't even being logically consistent. I explained to him 3 times how it's either true that he's engaging in a contradiction or an equivocation fallacy. And I gave him the clear as day explanation of how that's the case, and he just still wasn't engaging. Bonnie Blue, do you support Trump?
I think I do.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Only moving on to the next guest. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. Let's go to get the next guest, Hussein, loaded up inside of the queue. Clown Princess, thank you for the $5. Who says these MAGA idiots believing that Trump didn't do these things because he has money is exactly what Trump exploits. True. Brand, thank you for the $5. And T, thank you for the $20 over on Super Chat. I want to see 200 TWs down below while we are trying to get that next guest connected. Thank you, T. T says, here's an orange colored dono to represent the amount of Cheeto powder that is utterly caked around this caller's lips. Holy crap. Yeah, bro, he was lost in the sauce. Carter, thank you for the $20 as well. He says, Dean, thank you for everything that you do. I know it's stressful and it's difficult, but you're doing great things. Please never stop. Much love and peace, brother. Well, thank you for the love, Carter. I think that last conversation was really stressful and difficult. And frankly, I think it'd be a good thing for the future for me to just kick people like that off of the stream. Like, they're clearly not here for good faith conversation. Same thing to you, Sam. Thank you for the $20. I appreciate you so much. I do not have an update on that, but I just know that I really appreciate you for the $20, Sam. Thanks for supporting what we do. Monkey Kung Fu with the $20 as well says, oh God, here it comes. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, the intellectual dishonesty did indeed come. And then thank you as well, Faith, for the $30. Damn, Faith. Let's get 330 W's. Faith W's, as well as KB with the 20 who says this is to piss off the caller because he's getting on my students as well as my nerves. Oh goodness, KB, were you watching that one with the class, bro? King of the Golden State, thank you for the $20 who says, Dean, you didn't just cook that guy. You cooked that guy 20-piece barbecue chicken style. Congratulations. Appreciate you for the love. King of the Golden State, it's good to see you today. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I locked the fuck in there at the end. Let's go to try to get that next guest connected. We got Vin Bub connected. We definitely do have a lot of people to thank here just because that guy was literally up here for almost 2 hours. Pay Me. Thank you for the $50 donation on Venmo for pizza. Wow. Whoa. Pay me. Are you like reading my mind? Later tonight, I'm actually taking my girlfriend and a family member out for some pizza. So you must be reading my mind. Pay me. Thank you for the $50. I really appreciate you. That is a lot of money, and I'm very thankful for you. I want to see 500 pay me W's in that chat. Same thing to you, Matthew, with the $10 who says, "Keep up the good work. You're changing lives." I'm trying my best, man. Thank you for the $10. Helen with the $20 says, "Rapist, but benefits a lot of people." Okay, priests and pastors benefit a lot of people. Not rapists. OMG, these people. On God. Thank you for the $20, Helen. Shane, thank you so much for the $10. Good idea, Shane. Becca, thank you for the $5. Emily and Lexi, thank you guys for the $5. And then Kayla with the $10 who says, "Hey, Dean, it's Kay." I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's get 100 KWs. Welcome in. Do you support Trump, Justin?
Yes, I have a question. Can
How old are you?
I'm 20. It's specifically for Dean. Dean, do you think that black
Thank you
people
so
can be
much.
racist?
Thank you so much for the galaxy. You've been up here 30 times.
Oh, you're not going to answer the question? Running?
Well, I mean,
You don't
yeah,
have
I
an
don't think I'm
intellectual
going to
debate.
answer the question because A, it doesn't seem
Absolutely
to be
fried.
relevant.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, I'm not obviously not going to answer the question if it's not relevant to the debate.
Run.
And
Run.
B, I think that you've been on the live stream like literally 30 times.
Run,
Have you been on the live stream 30
My
times?
clips of you are viral. I get
Have you been on the live stream over 30
millions
times?
of views from cooking you.
Yeah,
Cooking you
fucking-
every single time. I get millions of views.
Do you know that?
I'm the most viewed person
Do you know that?
Do
you know that?
That's debated you, yes. Look how many
Oh,
donations.
okay.
People
So,
know my
wait.
voice.
What does it
I'm just
mean
getting
to know
donations
something?
from doing nothing.
What does it mean to know something?
Okay, this is what you do. You're running again.
What does it mean to know something?
Let's talk about Trump.
No. You just said that you cook me. You absolutely fry me. You cook me harder than anybody else that I've ever talked to. Okay, so I'll turn up the heat on you. All right. If you're telling me that you're significantly much more of an intellect in comparison to the average guest, okay, well, let's go from talking about policy and action to talking about philosophy. Okay, what's your theory of knowledge? You said that you know something to be true. In order for you to know something to be true, you'd have to have a consistent and coherent theory of knowledge and theory of justification as it would relate to your epistemological commitments. So what is your theory of knowledge and your theory of justification?
Thanks for the donations, guys. So if you're talking about philosophical terms, I'm going to be referring to Plato, which three things have to be true. There's three conditions which order to make something true. You have the belief, you have truth, and you have justification. It's a combination of all of these things. A belief means you actually have to believe it in order for it to be truth. Then you have truth, the thing that has to actually be true, and you also have justification. You have the good grounds for the belief in and of itself. So knowledge is a belief that is true that you have good reason to hold. That's what.
Okay. So how do you
something
respond to Getty's
means, yeah.
critiques of JBT?
Again, you're pivoting to something that's entirely different.
Okay. So
I'll
I'll explain to you what Getty's critiques of JTB are. So Getty's critiques of JTB are essentially that you could accidentally hold a justified.
How is that
true belief.
relevant?
Oh, well, it's relevant because you just gave me an insufficient account of knowledge. You just said that knowledge is a justified true belief. I think that's an insufficient account of knowledge. And by the way, epistemological philosophers like converge on this fact. Like Getty, he was a philosopher in the middle of the 20th century, and he critiqued the justified true belief account of knowledge by pointing out that you could accidentally hold justified true beliefs. Like a really good example of this would be like a clock on the wall. Let's imagine that it's like stuck at 2 p.m. But this clock broke exactly 24 hours ago or 12 hours ago. So it does actually happen to be 2 p.m. Okay, well, you're justified in believing that it's 2 p.m. because the clock says it's 2 p.m. and it's generally reliable. It hasn't broken the last 10 years. It's also true that it's 2 p.m. and you believe that it's 2 p.m. So in other words, you would quote unquote know that it's 2 p.m. Well, see, generally this is disputed in the literature because you don't actually know it's 2 p.m. You just happen to accidentally yield the conclusion that it's 2 p.m. because in all reality, the clock's broken. Okay, so there must be some other condition of knowledge outside of just holding a justified true belief, like a defeasibility condition, which would essentially be an absence of defeaters. And of course, that on its own is an externalist view, and we could get into that defeasibility condition if you'd like. But I mean, at the end of the day, you gave an insufficient account of knowledge, and you're expecting to be a guy that
No, I
cooks me.
didn't.
So you gave an insufficient account of knowledge, and you're saying otherwise. So why do you reject post-Gettyism?
So in order to hold knowledge,
why do you reject
you have to have some
post-Gettyism?
sort of objective truth.
Why do you reject
infinite
post-Gettyism?
regress, and there's also.
And why are you now pivoting
Why
to
do I
theories of
reject it?
justification? Yeah, why do you reject
Because theories of
post-Gettyism?
because that's just another theory of knowledge. Knowledge in and of itself cannot be proven true if there's no justifying reason as to what makes it true.
Post-Gettyism
So your definition of what knowledge.
Post-Gettyism is not a theory of knowledge. It's a critique of a theory of knowledge. What are we doing?
Yeah, again, it's a critique. In order to hold a
Okay, so you
critique to
concede.
be knowledge or to be truth, it must be ultimately objective. So what gives your stance on what truth is or knowledge is objective? What makes it objective? Stance.
What does
Stance
it even-
dependent.
What makes it stance independent? Do you mean?
Independent, yes.
Okay. Well, A, I think in order for a theory of knowledge to be true, you have to have a defeasibility condition, which you didn't account for as proven in the post-Gettyism literature. And then B, your account for why justification ultimately fails, you said falls down to an infinite regress. That's just called the Agrippa's trilemma. And C, there are 3 theories of justification which account for the Agrippa's trilemma. I prefer the theory of the theory of justification related to foundationalism. Do you know what foundationalism is?
Foundationalism in what context?
Is a theory of justification.
No, I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, but you're asking me how I could ground justification without being acquainted with the 3 responses to the Agrippa's trilemma? Are you fucking serious?
Because what are the 3 things that fall underneath that category? You only talked about infinite regress. So what is your dilemmas
Dogmatism
with
and
the other 2?
circularity.
No, it's not. It's an
Yes, it
arbitrary
is. What the
starting point.
fuck?
It's an arbitrary
Oh my
starting point.
god!
That's the
Oh my
thing.
god! Oh my god! Yeah, dude, what? Yeah, the 3 horns of the Agrippa's trilemma, which dispute any credibility to any attempt to justify, would be dogmatism, circularity, and infinite regress. Okay, then 3 theories of justification. Yes. What the fuck? How much money do you want to bet?
Define dogmatism.
How much money do you want to bet?
Define dogmatism.
Holding a dogmatic belief as it would relate to a basic belief with no further justification. You're basically saying that you could hold basic beliefs with no further justification, and you're dogmatic in the sense that you just merely accept it to be true because of your priors. Okay.
Dogmatic's not the term that is used in definitions as such as the it's not. No one refers to that as dogmatism. They refer to it as arbitrary starting point.
That's the standard usage in the literature.
Okay, that's not the standard. I don't think that's the standard literature.
Okay, well, okay. Have you read literature?
Thanks for the donations, guys. I hope you guys
so you
can
haven't
see
read
that
the
I'm
literature.
absolutely cooking. And he's
Okay,
pivoting to talk about
wait.
this instead of
Wait, you're
Trump,
absolutely
because he
cooking
knows
me,
that
but
if
you
we
don't know
actually
what.
talk
Wait. I just want to clarify.
Look at the thing.
You're
How do you still
absolutely cooking me,
support
but you
Trump?
don't know what
How do you still
foundationalism is.
support Trump? This is
Wait.
what
I
we're
just want to
talking about.
clarify. You just said that you're absolutely cooking me, but you don't know what foundationalism is. You're pretending to be smart by using words that you don't know.
Foundationalism in what context?
I already answered this question. I said in the context of a theory of justification.
Foundationalism can refer to something that is foundation, like it's in and of itself true. It's the foundation for how we build our overall theories and ideas. So if something is foundational, that means it's like a pyramid. Have you ever heard of the pyramid of foundationalism? Yes or no? Have you?
You're completely wrong about your description of foundationalism. Go hit the books, bro. For your reference, foundationalism is the belief that basic beliefs don't require further justification because they're rather, as it would relate to any other belief, because they're rather justified by our seemings. And a seeming is a non-doxastic attitude with a propositional and assertoric content. And the content in of itself can be truth apt, but because the seeming is not truth apt, it doesn't require further justification, serving as the foundational justification for basic beliefs. That's what foundationalism is. You claim to know what foundationalism is, but you did not know what foundationalism is. So before you claim to be the cooker of Dean, please make sure that you're up to date with just the very basic and rudimentary knowledge concerning epistemology. What the fuck are we even talking about here? Sorry, I had to whip out the strong arms on that asshole because he came up here and claimed to be, the Lex Luthor to my Superman, and we exposed him as a pseudo intellectual. Max, do you support Trump? All right, we're gonna get the next guest up here.
Hey, I just want to say, so I don't do all of that, but I have a really good friend of mine, Jeff from End of a Species, who is absolutely into philosophy, and he's watching, and he sent me this text. He said, "While I disagree that foundationalism addresses the trilemma adequately, Dean is right about the literature. So to be clear, I disagree with the consensus view." I don't know what all that means, but apparently you were right, even though he doesn't agree with the overarching premise.
So that means that he's either a coherentist or an infinitist, which are the other 2 theories of justification born out of the trilemma. Yeah, that's definitely like a non-standard view in the literature. I think 1 to 2% of epistemologists that study philosophy are infinitists, for instance. I bet he's probably a coherentist.
He said you're right about the literature. Everything else,
If you're watching her now, you should tell Santana if you're a coherentist.
He's typing right now.
J5, do you support Trump?
I'm not in the bath. Please don't kill me.
Okay. Moving on to the next guest. Let's go to get Mike up. Jesus Christ. Only opposite side of the queue if you are here for debate, please, folks. We're just here for some debates. We're looking for the next American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president to bring up onto the stream to have fruitful dialogue with about why you're MAGA. Welcome in, David. Do you support Trump?
Hey, Dean. How's it going?
Fuck you, David. Moving on to the next guest. Only opposite side of the queue if you are here for debate, please. We got Elliot Wakefield loading up. Welcome in, Elliot. Do you support Trump? Elliot's not here. We're going to go and move on to the next guest. Only hop inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA, please and thank you. We got W. Ray C loading up in the box. Welcome in. Do you support Trump, W. Ray C?
No, I don't.
Okay. I appreciate you for coming up, man. Today we are just looking for some Trump supporters, so we're going to move on. Let's go to get the next guest, Zane, in here.
What up, Sorsha? He's still typing. He sent part of it.
Hi, Dean. It's Kermit the Frog.
Goodbye, Zane. I wonder what he has to say, man. Because most people in the literature are foundationalists.
This is what he just said. I'm none of those. I don't think any views address the trilemma, but it's not a problem for me, to be honest. I think that Agape's trilemma fools people into thinking they need 100% certainty when that's not required for knowledge claims. I have no idea what the hell he's talking about.
So he's talking about, he's basically saying that the Agrippa's trilemma is an infallibilist theory, that posits that you need 100% certainty and belief. Maybe we should talk about that one day, Satana's friend. I would assume that there's probably in place.
He would talk for fucking hours. You guys would, you would enjoy it.
Let's
you would enjoy it.
Hell yeah. Let's go to get the next guest, Aubrey, lit it up. Only opposite side of the queue if you are here for debate, please and thank you. Yo, Mia, thank you so much for the $100 donation on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Mia. I want to get 1,000 Mia W's down below in that comment section. That is ridiculously kind of you. Thank you so much. This came in around an hour ago. I'm just seeing it now because I'm just catching up. But genuinely, thank you so much for the love. I want to see so much love from Mia down below in that chat. Thank you so much. Mia with $100. Get the fuck out of here. Mia with $100 says, donated in hopes of pissing MAGA off. What I do with my money is my business, and I'll donate to whatever I want with my money. Love what you do, Dean. Keep it up. Love watching and supporting. Well, thank you, Mia. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you for the love. I want to see 1,000 Mia W's. That is genuinely so incredibly kind of you. Mia sent that in when that last guest was complaining about the donations. That's always a bad move for the guest to make. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Huge shout out to Mia, folks. Huge shout out to Mia. Same thing with you, Ashley. Thank you so much for the $10. Who says, Dean, you said for your 500 episode you'd wear a fun hat. If you do, can Momo wear one too? Yeah, maybe that's a good idea.
Wait,
Caleb, thank you.
When's your 500?
5 days.
Holy shit, okay.
Yeah, we're close, bro. Mia, thank you so much for the... Caleb with the $20 says, just listen to yesterday's VOD. Yikes. Thanks for fighting the fight. Unfortunately, I think arguing logic with people who think you can't have morals because you don't worship the invisible wizard in the sky is pointless. Yeah, it's annoying. I wouldn't say that it's pointless, but it's definitely annoying. Welcome in the MAGA. Do you support Trump?
Dean, I'll see the aliens.
Our queue is just so fucked, man. Thank you for the $8, Oscar, who says, did you hear the speculation that they're going to try to pass a national abortion ban? Yeah. We had Matt on the stream yesterday explain that. It's definitely worrying, but not like a lot of things for the galaxy. I think that the like plausibility that they're actually going to be able to pull that off is like very low. Kayla, thank you for the $50 on PayPal. Thank you, Kayla. Oh my goodness. I want to see 500 Kayla dubs. Kayla says, keep fighting the good fight. You inspire me to be meaner to MAGAs. Let's fucking go, bro. Huge shout out to Kayla. Thank you for the love. Genuinely, that's very kind of you. Carson, thank you so much for the $10, who says, have you ever debated somebody on True Crime Community? I've not. Thank you, Emily, for the $10, who says, if you know that humans don't need meat and dairy and you're against animal cruelty, but you still consume it, are you also in a state of cognitive dissonance like some MAGA people? Love your content, big fan. This bothers me. No, I'm not in a state of cognitive dissonance because I have reason why it is permissible to eat meat. But I'm really sympathetic to vegan views. I think that they're some of the strongest views, philosophically speaking. It is really, really, really difficult to refute veganism. I just think that I have done it. Alani, thank you for the gym gun. Welcome in, Brandon. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
18.
What year were you born in?
2008, 25th of April.
Okay.
What is in here, Dean? You do not talk to me.
Let's go to get the next guest connected.
I think I have one.
Feel free to bring him up, bro, because this is terrible.
Yeah.
Isaiah, thank you for the $10. Who says, if Trump was doing a good job defending us from Iran, our weapons stockpiles wouldn't be running low. True. And then Kayla, thank you for the $8 as well. Thank you so much for that love, Kayla. I appreciate you. And it looks like we're all caught up. If you guys want to support the stream, you can find a link to my Venmo and my PayPal and the link tree in the bio of my
I'm
TikTok
sorry,
account.
Dean. I didn't mean to join. I'm so sorry.
Pin message on YouTube, as well as the handles always at the top of the phone screen and TikTok as well. Welcome in Bakerverse HQ. Do you support Trump?
Unfortunately.
How old are you?
I am 26.
And if it's unfortunate that you support Trump, bro, just stop supporting him.
Well, I struggle with this a lot because I feel like I'm kind of stuck in this weird area where I really don't support a lot of things on the left, but I also don't support a lot of things on the right. And that's just kind of where I'm at, because I feel like, especially on the Republican side, I don't identify as necessarily MAGA. I can identify more so as a conservative.
So what issues do you agree with Trump on?
Party.
So, I mean, basically, I'm basically asking you to demonstrate that Donald Trump is more than Republican in name only, if you, like, stand with Republican values. And just tell me, like, the values that you share with Trump.
Well, I believe that Christ should be in the family. I was raised a Christian.
Okay. Well, Trump doesn't think Christ should be in the family. He's cheated on all of his wives.
You do have a point there.
I do.
I would honestly say, I don't know if it's Trump specifically, but I do think we should be protecting children. As far as with the LGBTQ, I have if an adult wants to do it, if an adult wants to be gay, transgender, whatever, that's fine. But I feel like there should be limits on children getting gender-affirming care, seeing things on TV specifically too, on a young developing mind.
It's literally easier for you to get a fully automatic quad machine gun that could shoot 60,000 rounds per minute than for a minor to get gender-affirming care.
Yeah, I guess. Can you explain to me that, though? Because,
well,
like
I don't
said,
really see how it's relevant
these
to the
days,
debate
politics,
because there wasn't really too much of a difference between the policy of Kamala Harris and Trump. Listen, you said something about gay people. What about gay people and children?
I feel like with children specifically, they have very fast developing minds. If you look at media these days, especially things for like toddlers, they are showing homosexuality in toddler shows.
Yeah, by the way, homosexuality in toddler shows is like what? Two dads, two moms? The same way they show heterosexuality in toddler shows? One dad, one mom?
No, it is not. There are specific shows that are headline. I don't care if if there's two dads, two moms, and they don't address it, fine. But they are literally going to the lengths of addressing that they are gay.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing, low-key. A lot of children with gay parents end up like getting bullied a lot in school, especially like younger grade school, because a lot of children like just don't really understand varying family dynamics outside of like the heteronormative family dynamic of a mom and a dad. Like, yeah, I'm really fine with like teaching to like young children at a very age appropriate level that a lot of people have a mom and a dad, but some people have a dad and other people have a mom and a mom. Like, I'm fine with that. I think that's a good thing. And like really like the main reason for doing that is just to like reduce the bullying of youth with gay parents.
Okay, I can see that.
Also, I just want to chime in and say, like, the premise as far as like indoctrination through television and stuff, that's not a new thing. It's super weird that people are like leaning on this being new when like representation of the queer community has always been persistent in like popular TV shows. Look at MASH, right? Look at growing up, multiple shows that I've watched. Also, like, is your contention just the indoctrination of young kids?
Yes, sir. I believe, you know, the high school age, like, I feel like
Okay, so
16, 17 plus.
you wouldn't want any situations where kids could be manipulated through what they're watching to believe certain things, right?
Yes.
So you condemn Veggie Tales.
You condemn everything. Everything.
Not really. I feel like
the only way to teach really young kids things is literally to indoctrinate them into it. Okay? Below a certain age, there's no like rational logic. Okay? You can't say you should believe X because Y. Okay? Because like the mental components of such a young child just aren't developed to the extent where they could even like deduce. Oh, X is true, therefore Y is true. Oh, you know, God, like, I don't know, there's a billion different examples, but the point is, for children younger than a certain age, the only way to teach them anything is to indoctrinate them. As Santana just brought up, a really good example. We indoctrinate kids with Veggie Tales to try to be good friends and understand the basics of math and shit.
Oh, also, Veggie Tales has an underlining Christian theme. Like they teach Christianity via Veggie Tales.
It's not just underlined. That is Veggie Tales.
High key.
I understand.
I watched that. I got indoctrinated into that at my Catholic school. Veggie Tales was like a weekly thing in class.
Yeah.
What about like?
But do you have any like
people
specific
bringing-
reasons why you support Trump as president,
I guess not. One thing I do want to say to you though, I really did appreciate your debate with the Latino. Like I said, I support, you know, adult trans, but with the Disney stuff, I really did like that.
Well, I mean, that really didn't have anything to do with being transgender. But
doing it in front of children
you're
with
like the
the
reason
bathrooms
why
situation?
you're like the reason why I had that conversation with Lily Tino. Because when Lily Tino goes to like Disney World and she's talking about like dicks and vaginas in front of kids at a kid's place, like then all of a sudden a bunch of people on the right say, "Oh, trans bad." But like no, the issue with Lily Tino had nothing to do with the fact that she was trans or had nothing to do with trans people. It had to do with her like talking about explicit content and genitalia at like a place for kids, and she should like stop doing that because it leads to more criticism of the trans community.
I think you're still missing the point. He's gone. I was going to say, like, I think and I hope there's a bunch of people that saw that with Dean, because the thing that like I took from and the thing that I tried to make sure was known as well is like, if you're going to be someone that's a content creator or influencer or someone with any type of platform, you just have to be mindful of other people who don't have your platform that could be put in dangerous spots because of what you do. I always have to keep that in mind when I talk about like issues facing Black people.
True. Sketch, Henchman, and Omni MAGA, do you guys support Trump?
Kinda.
Are you in the bath?
Me?
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
Stomp your foot on the... Omni MAGA, do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do. Are you gonna fucking take it seriously this time? Or are you gonna run away? Listen, I know why.
Listen.
What?
We have to stop doing this. It's just not working anymore. And it's not you, it's me.
I'm not trying to do it more than Dean. I don't think the public's gonna like it if you say that.
Listen.
And I know why you don't
I'm
want
sorry.
me to.
I've thought about this for so long. I've thought long and hard. I've confided in my peers. I've consulted my confided thought leaders, and I just can't do it anymore. I just can't keep on going back and forth.
Buddy.
I just can't spend my time. Okay?
Listen, buddy,
I just can't spend my
made
time
you.
this way. Oh my god.
I got you to 7 million followers.
Oh,
I single-handedly got you to 7 million followers. People don't tune in to listen to you. They wait in anticipation to hear me.
Wow.
I am the Dean Withers Show. You're just the commercial break.
Oh, wow. Wow, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So now that you have your audience, what do you want to tell them?
I'm
a balding 40-year-old chud that lives in my mom's basement.
Yeah, and this is
support my GoFundMe so I could buy more Mountain Dew and fix the holes in my wall that I caused.
This is why you won't. This is why you won't read my message on Instagram because oh god no, please don't let him be hot.
Not him not checking my DMs.
I kick him when he says weird shit. Oh my goodness gracious.
Speaking of weird shit, there's been some bleed over from like the phalangus guy and then the bathtub guys. Both of them have tried that, and I've trapped both of them into debating me. I made the bathtub guy debate me for an hour today, and he had shit. And then at the end, he was like, "Well, I was just trolling." I said, "I know you were trolling, but I made you stay here and debate me." Fuck that guy.
Good for you, man. Pinda, I appreciate you for the love on Super Chat. Who says, Dean, I love your streams and I love your style of debate. I wanted to ask, what are your opinion about all the hate towards Argentina during and after the World Cup? Much love. Well, my opinions are that I feel bad for all the innocents caught in the crossfire. I'd say it's like generally bad to like hate on like an entire like nation of people. Because there's just no way that like every constituent of said nation is bad. Welcome in, Patrick. Do you support Trump?
Dean, when are you going on Triple E?
Goodbye, fetus. Thank you for the $50. Sarah with a $50 on Super Chat says, Dean, it's Sarah. Thanks for encouraging me to pivot out of corporate after 20 years and pursue work I care about. I just got a job with the Georgia Democrats, and your support played a real part in that. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so very proud of you, Sarah. That is fantastic. Show some love to Sarah down below. That is so exciting. I hope that you enjoy your new career. Full Band with the $20 as well says, ask them to name the specific shows so I know what to put on for my kids. On God, bro. Net, do you support Trump?
Yeah, that puss guy was crazy, bro. Why are you looking at me like that?
They're so unoriginal.
Fuck you. Don't do that. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of original.
Yeah, but 4 out of 10.
Ava, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Says, just in time for the breakup with Mr. Puss Puss. I hope that you're having a good dating. Glad to catch the stream today. Happy to have you here, Ava. Thanks for the $20. Thanks for supporting the show. Thank you once again. Seriously, show some love to Ava down below. And Shane, thank you for the $20 as well. You says, for you. Okay, I'll keep that to myself. Appreciate you for the love, Shane. Let's get 200 Shane W's. Thank you. Chris with the $10 says, let me know if you want to debate a vegan. I'm a pro ultra runner, not MAGA, but I'd be happily proven wrong. I actually know a MAGA vegan. So fucked up, LOL. Yeah, I would actually like to talk to vegans. I just probably do it on a backup account. Because I don't really want like the repercussions of debating veganism in front of like 35,000 people. Some vegans are kind of mean, and I don't really want mean vegans in my DMs. Welcome in, that guy on the internet. Do you support Trump?
I got a bone to pick with you, Dean Witherspoon.
In the bath. I thought that was actually Trump until I heard the water splashing. No way that guy has bathed since birth.
Not at all.
Not at all. I thought it was actually him too. I was going to be like, oh, Trump! But no, then I heard the water. It's like, oh, no, this is definitely not Trump.
Joseph, thank you for the 20. Chelsea, thank you for the 15. Shannon, thank you for the 10. Kimberly, thank you for the 5. Guys, check your messages. I'm just replying directly to say thank you. That way, we can keep things moving. Hi, Courtney, how old are you?
I am 25. I don't sound it. Before I get cut.
Moving on to the next
Gotta
guest.
be American.
Joseph, thank you so much for the $50 donation on Venmo. Thanks for supporting us. You know I love you, Joseph. You're the GOAT.
Hello.
I appreciate you. One moment. Joseph with the 50 says, I missed the opening, but you were beyond patient with the first guess. Time you'll never get back, unfortunately. Yeah, I let that first conversation run on way too long. I appreciate you for the $50. Shannon with the $10 says, happy almost 500. Thank you. And Mark with the $10 as well. Thank you so much. Taylor, whatever the fuck. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
18.
What year were you born in?
2008, July 16th.
And why do you support Trump?
We are Charlie Kirk.
Thank you for the $10 on Venmo, Elizabeth, who says, for letting me ask Santana a question. Well, I appreciate you for the $10, Elizabeth. We got flat.
Sorry, I didn't see this. 10, Elizabeth, thank you for the 10. No, I didn't do a recap of the Jubilee. It's just out there. Everyone has been posting the clips. So thank you for the 10.
What up, Flat Earth Truth? Are you a Trump supporter?
Hello. Yes, I am.
Are you a Flat Earther too?
Yes, I am.
Can you please disconnect
really?
any mic that's plugged into your phone?
I don't have a phone. I'm on laptop.
I don't think that you could join lives from a laptop.
No, I'm on the web.
I don't think that you could join lives from the
Yeah,
web.
you can. Because I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
I'm doing it right now.
I'm pretty sure that you can.
Can you?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
So you're saying...
I know you can watch, but I don't think you can actually join.
So you're saying that if I go to TikTok.com, there's a
I totally get that.
so I'm like on Manda Lives right now. Oh, there you go. It sounds a lot better now. Hello. How old are you?
Hello. I am 19.
Okay. Are you trolling?
I am not. No.
What year were you born in?
2007.
Okay, and you're a flat earther?
Yes, I am.
Like, sincerely?
Yes, I am.
All right, give me a second.
Why has no one... Okay, first question. Why has no one found the edge?
Because the government kills anyone who does.
What's your evidence of this?
The fact that no one has seen it.
Okay, that's circular. You're saying P is true because of Q, then Q is true because of P. Why has nobody seen the flat edge? Because the government kills anybody who tries to come near it.
Yes.
What's your evidence that the government kills anybody that tries to come near it? Nobody has seen the flat edge. That's circular.
Yes, exactly.
That's not proof.
Okay, here, I support Trump. Isn't that like what you're here for?
How do you explain the 24-hour sun in Antarctica?
There's a second sun.
Okay.
Holy shit.
What's the evidence for this?
The fact that there's a 24-hour sun.
Oh, that's circular as hell.
How do you explain circumnavigation around the globe?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, I forgot. Flat earthers have like a 3-syllable max. I think
That guy's not a real believer. He's not a real believer.
He's not a real believer, bro. A real believer knows what circumnavigation is. Like me. Take me, for instance. I'm a real believer in the flat earth theory.
Do not say that, Dean. Damn it. People are gonna believe that.
No, dude, it's true. The earth is flat. Okay, for all you globers out there, you're oh my goodness. Oh my god, you guys are so fucking stupid, dude. You actually think the earth is a globe? Oh, Jesus.
I literally almost choked.
The earth is a disc attached to a turtle.
Okay. Goodbye, Looney Tunes. Moving on to the next guest. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be a Trump supporter. Anna Sophia, thank you for the $30 donation on Venmo.
Nigga racist!
And you were banned. Anna Sophia with the $30 says, "Hey Dean, have you heard the statistic that there are more women organ donors than men? MAGA doesn't even realize that we women are already using our resources to save other people. Anyways, I appreciate you." I believe that. I actually believe that, Anna Sophia. I appreciate you for sharing that with me. I appreciate you for the $30. You're always hanging out with us in the stream. Thank you so much for the love. Show some love to Anna Sophia in that comment section for the $30 donation on my Venmo account. Been a while. Geo-Dash guy. It's been a while. Let's go to get the next guest, Michael, loaded up. Thank you for the $5, Kaylee. Okay, I'm so sorry that happened to you, and I'm so happy that the live streams have been able to help you out. Caitlin, thank you for the $10. Who says, "Thank you so much for your support of women." Well, I appreciate you for your support of me. Emma with the $10 says, "I'm watching here from Ireland. I watch your videos every day. Thanks for being here. Shout out to you and shout out to Ireland." And then Ranja, thank you for the $10, who says, "Greetings from Germany. These rape apologists are disgusting, and I'm very impressed in how you could stay calm." I've not been able to stay calm talking to them forever. I've just had to adapt. I appreciate you for the $10. Welcome in H-Dog. Do you support Trump? He was actually playing that. I could hear the depression of the keys.
And he was trying to speed through it before you kicked him. Like,
True.
that was actually kind of impressive.
Yeah, that's good. Moving on to the next guest. Let's go to get Valance up here. Welcome in. Do you support Trump, Valance? Oh my god. All right, guys. We're going to end the stream soon if we're not able to get a guest up. It's been like, what, 40 minutes without a debate? Yeah, it's been 40 minutes without a debate, guys. That's a long time. I think more specifically, it's been 34 minutes. So we're just going to go ahead and end the stream here soon unless we're able to get a debate up. 40 minutes with the, like, straight trolls is kind of like, that's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. Jesus is king. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I don't know.
40 minutes of straight trolls is crazy. That's nutty. That's too much, man. Way too much, man. By the way, if you want to support me, if you want to support the live stream, if you want to get a shout out, if you want me to like read off a message or ask a question / get a message across, you can on Venmo and PayPal. You could actually find a link to my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in the bio on my TikTok account. In the pin message on the YouTube streams, the handle is always right there on the top of the phone screen. If you use a handle compared to the link, like you're just typing that in, make sure that you quadruple check your spelling. If you get even one character off, you'll be sending it to a fake account. It's just Dean Withers without the letter E in Withers. Zach, do you support Trump? Zach, hello? Okay, Zach's not here. 42 minutes without trolls. Sorry, with just trolls. Moving on to the next guest, Gene. Alrighty.
Damn, wrong person.
Yeah, if you want to help me try to find somebody, feel free.
Yeah, I was, and then it just moved on me.
Yeah, if we can't find somebody, I'm just going to end. Cooper G, do you support Trump? Cooper G, you're connected to the live stream. Do you support Trump? Okay. All right, we got a couple people. JTY, do you support Trump?
No, but I just figure I'll debate with you.
Just flip it. Do you support Trump?
Man, that last guess was trouble, Dean.
Fuck off. No name. Do you support Trump?
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. Alrighty. John, do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
Hello? Yes.
Yes.
How old are you? Hello?
Here's an echo.
Yes.
John, how old are you?
Yes.
How old are you?
20.
Hello?
Let's leave it in with the echo. What year were you born in?
2000.
I actually had hope in, for John. Damn it, John.
Yeah. On to the next match. That one dude, do you support Trump?
I know you're gonna kick me, but I love you so much, Dean.
Pallet,
If you
do
did, you
support
wouldn't
Trump?
request up.
Pallet, do you support Trump?
Geez, that last guess was trouble.
BC Laser Engraving, do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay, and why do you support the worst president of your life?
Why is he... So, I want your opinion first. Why is he the worst president?
Yeah, because he's uniquely terrible. No other president of your life has tried to end democracy. No other president of your life has called for this nation's for the termination of this nation's constitution. No other president in your life has been found guilty in a court of law for raping a woman. No other president in your life has publicly boasted about how funny they thought it was when they took advantage of naked women and girls. No other president in your life has, let's see here, claimed to be the president of peace, claimed to be the president of no new wars, and started a new war in the Middle East. No other president in your life attempted an insurrection upon this nation's capital. No other president in your life tried to rig the outcome of an election. No other president in your life held a press conference from the Oval, falsely announcing evidence of widespread voter fraud in an attempt to suppress voters in the midterms.
Don't forget that he also called for the termination of the Constitution, said that he wanted to hang his political opponents, and also wanted to annex our allies.
Yeah,
That's
no other
really
president in
bad
your life
shit.
has done those things too.
Yeah.
It's actually like really clear. When you think about it, it's really easy to understand why he's the worst president of your life. Oh, BC, where'd you go, bro? Come back to the live, little bro. Don't be running now. Don't be running now,
don't
BC.
run,
I think he's
BC.
running. I think the case that we just gave him was so clear. I need to use the restroom. When we're able to get the next guest up, I'm gonna
I got you.
go pee real quick.
Yep.
But BC's running, so we're gonna move on to the next
Holy
guest.
shit, he ran.
Yeah, Nixon, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Do you support Trump?
Who?
Do you support Trump?
Of course I support.
Sorry to the 10-year-old You are way too young to be on that account, even if it's just debating your mom. Sorry, 10-year-old. Welcome in, Angelo. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
What year were you born in?
2007.
Let me thank a couple people. The mic, the floor is yours.
Sure thing.
Triana, thank you for the $20. Who says, apparently I was telling my dentist about you earlier when I was on laughing gas at my appointment. I don't remember it, but she told me I went on and on and about some blondie named Teen. I appreciate you for the $20, Triana. I hope that the operation went well. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate you for supporting what we do. Same thing to you, Jamie. Thank you for the galaxy. Nicholas, thank you for the $10. Who says, went from NOLA and watching from NOLA and love the content. I've learned so much from watching and debate MAGA supporters around me pretty frequently. Keep up the good work. Oh, I'm so happy that you've taken something positive away. I love that. Same thing to Nick. Thank you for the $10. Who says, yo, debate me. I am the school debater. Is that your name in the queue? Kayla, thank you for the $10. Who says, it's Kayla from yesterday. You said happy birthday to me. With my mom, but we can't get in the queue. If you want to debate a MAGA woman, my username is at Las AY G Nay on TikTok. Thank you so much. Yeah, Kayla, here's what you could do. If you want to send a
just
roast,
to tag me. Just tag me in a comment and I'll see it.
yeah, tag Santana in the comment section, and also like literally if you have it, just spend like $1 on TikTok coins and then just spam roses and I'll be looking for you. Just like spam roses. Just like spam it like at minimum like 50 roses, I'll find you. What's going on? Do you support Trump? Oh, you already told us that you do. Why don't you tell us why? Go ahead.
So, first of all, I think we as a nation, right? We as a community, we are Charlie Kirk. And we carry the flame, we fight for the gospel, and we honor his name.
All right, guys. I think that we're going to put a halt on the debates. We may also just stop them for the day right here, and I may hop off. It's just been an hour of trolls. So like the trolls are like fun sometimes. But frankly, when it's like an hour of trolls, like what are we doing? I'd rather spend this time like hanging out with like family or going to the gym or something. So we're going to try to find this La CNA individual. I mean, everybody in the comment section is like saying no. Like, I mean, we had trolls for an hour straight, you know? So we're going to try to find this individual. I appreciate you for the pumpkin carriage. Thank you. I'm looking for this La CNA person right now. I'm just not seeing them. We'll keep on trying, I guess, just for a little bit longer. But I mean, if you guys just continue to troll, like we're just definitely gonna end. Action. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
18.
What year were you born in?
2008.
What month?
January.
Okay, and why do you support Trump?
Because I love niggers and I want to fuck you.
Alrighty. Guys, let's try to do it this way. If you're an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president, send the 1 penny goat gift. We're going to be bringing up people that send the goat gift, so don't send that goat gift unless you are an American adult that is down, that supports Trump, that's down to debate. Have you seen this La CNA person?
No, but there is someone that I think is...
oh, your mic just got really quiet for some reason.
Oh, sorry, I turned it down. I said there is someone...
Oh.
Sorry. There is someone in the request that sent the goat gift, and I was looking at their profile. I think they might actually be a Trump supporter.
Yeah, feel free to bring them
wait,
up.
hold on. I think I just saw him. One second. Damn
Yo, what up, Dean?
Jason, do you support Trump?
Hello, Dean.
Jason? Callie? Hi, guys. Callie, do you support Trump?
Nah, I'm James, but...
James is the one that I brought up.
Okay, both of you guys just said hi. Callie, hello. Do you support Trump, Callie?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 19.
What year were you born in?
2007.
Okay, what time is it?
No, I'm an American citizen, but I live in Ireland. My father's American, so I'm an American citizen.
Okay, what's one policy that Trump has passed that you like?
If I tag Santana, could you invite me on my other account? I just don't want this count to be like violated.
I'm sorry. You could try. Go.
Okay.
Feel free to try, Callie.
Thank you.
James, do you support Trump?
Yeah. Like I'm kind of on the fence about it though. I've been watching your debates for.
Ravioli.
My fault.
Cinder Rose. I think I see you. How old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay. What year were you born in?
2008 May.
And why do you support Trump?
I don't know. I know why, but my family been.
Thank you.
Usually my dad's side all over, but usually about the abortion laws. I hear you talking back and forth about it.
I'm looking for your ravioli.
Sorry if I'm a little nervous right now.
Cinder Rose. I've identified your account. Yeah. So what's the reason why you support Trump?
Mostly my family about the abortion laws and the strictly borders. I understand you're gonna say how the
so you
borders
support it
are
because
more
of abortion
secure.
laws. So do you think that abortion should be banned?
It depends on the situation, you know. I understand if someone get like raped and gotta use it.
So do you agree? So Donald Trump overturned Roe v. Wade, giving the power to the states. Fuck! I just saw you, Leslie. You're gonna have to. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I saw you for like 2 seconds. I promise. I'm staring at my phone screen. You're gonna have to do it again. I'm so sorry. So do you agree with Donald Trump?
The goat?
They're sending the roses.
Okay, I'm watching.
Yeah, and so you agree with Trump overturning Roe v. Wade?
I'm gonna keep it real. I don't even know.
You don't even know what Roe v. Wade is, but you support Trump because of abortion?
No, I'm not even saying that. It's my family though. I'm like on the fence.
Oh.
I didn't vote.
Last thing, your account is private. That's why. You're gonna have to make your account public in order for me to be able to invite you.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. So back to what you were saying, guest?
My fault. So I was saying I didn't vote. I was too young at the time. I was 17 in November, but I just turned 18 like 2-3 months ago. But just basically my whole family likes Trump, except for my mom's side. But it's not really. I just want to know what should I be for like the next. Like I'm kind of in the fence, like in the middle, to like.
Well, here's
not
what I'll
fully
say.
left, fully right, but
If
like
you
I just
haven't,
want to hear your
really
opinion.
if you haven't developed your political opinions and you're not here to debate, but you're just here to hear me out, I just recommend like watching the stream.
All right,
because
appreciate it.
That's like the perspective that you could like hear me and my opinions from. But I obviously definitely think that you should be voting for the left. Let's go to try to get that next guest up. Everybody on the opposite side of the queue, if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump as president, folks. I'm trying my best, guys. I'm trying my best to get a debate going.
Hello.
Tanner, do you support Trump?
Yes.
All right, bro. How old are you?
I'm 18.
What year are you born in?
2008.
What month?
February.
What time is it?
It's neo-libertarian phalanges time!
All right, we're going to move on to the next guest here. Only hop inside of the queue if you're here for a debate, bro. We got Derek loading up. Moving on to the next guest, guys. Trying our best.
Dean.
That's a child.
Yo, can you follow me, please? I'm looking for 100 followers. I'm 4.
Hello, Dean.
Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
All right, bro. You're in the bath, man.
No, I'm not. I'll stop my foot.
How old
Not
are
in
you?
bath. 18.
What year were you born in?
2007.
What month?
September.
Why do you support Trump?
I really like his policies on abortion and keeping girls out of men's sports, or the other way around.
What is his policy on abortion?
Hi there, Dean.
Do you support Trump?
I'm fairly neutral. I'm willing to give a debate regarding his policies, but at
If
the
if the election was held tomorrow between Harris and Trump, who would you vote for?
I wouldn't honestly. I'd probably go Green Party. I wouldn't vote for neither Kamala nor Trump. I can see both of the point of views on both of their.
Appreciate you for joining, man. At the bare minimum, we look for people that would consider themselves Republican. Hello,
Can you
welcome
hear
in.
me? Hi. Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
Okay. Hi. Holy shit. Okay. I'm 25. I have my mom here.
Hi.
I'm 52. She's very super MAGA, so take
Well,
it
I mean,
away.
I appreciate you. I mean, I really do appreciate you for joining up, and to your mother, I appreciate you for being down to debate me as well. I mean, it's been crazy. We've been looking for a debate for the last hour and a half, and if it wasn't for you guys being on the stream right now, we'd be ending. So, shout out to you two. So, I'm gonna just quickly put up a warning on the screen telling people not to harass your account. Alrighty. For the mom, what would you like me to call you? You could give me a fake name, a real name, just like something to refer to you as.
My friends call me Kitty.
Did you say Katie or Kitty?
Kitty, as in kitty cat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hello, Kitty. So we understand that you're a Trump supporter.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
I've been a
please.
Republican my whole life, honey.
Oh, bad vibes. Bad vibes. Listen, man.
Oh,
Listen.
come on now. Come
Trump
on.
is the worst president of your life.
No.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but apparently to you there is. So let's hear it. Let's hear it. Why do you support Trump as president?
Dean, I was just going to say, did you want to go ahead and run to the restroom while Kitty explains it to me, and I'll make sure we're all caught up?
Yeah, sure, that works. Kitty, I'm going to quickly go pee. Feel free to explain your view to Santana here, and I'll actually be able to hear you
Hi,
too.
Kitty.
Just give us an explanation of why you support Trump for everybody else watching. I'll be right back.
All right, Kitty, the floor is yours. Why do you support Donald Trump?
Well, I've seen a lot of presidents. I've lived through a lot of presidents. Trump is amazing compared to some of the presidents we have had.
Okay.
So I don't understand the views of why he's so bad.
Okay.
As far as his bills
Kitty,
and plans,
can you tell me what makes him amazing to you?
well, I wouldn't say he's amazing. Okay, he's a president. He has his ups, he has his downs, he has his faults. What did me for Trump was when he said he would close the border after millions of people were invading our country and no one was doing anything. I don't agree with an open border. I think everybody has a wall for a reason. You have a door to your house. I just believe everybody should be safe in their own nation.
Yeah, I think that's something that everyone can agree on. I mean, I think that's something that's shared across party lines. I know you said that he said that he was going to close the border, and you disagree with the open border, and you said that he was amazing compared to other presidents. Is there anything else that you actually really like about Donald Trump, why he still has your support today?
A lot of the bills he's passed, I have agreed with.
Do you have any specifically?
I can't remember the actual number of the bill, but I think it was his first term. What really made me like him was he allowed the veterans to have access to insurance other than through the VA. They were when you got out of the military, you only had the VA, and VA sucks. I know my father's a vet. He was in Vietnam. My grandfather was in World War II. The VA sucks, and no president was doing anything about getting our veterans help, and he did. So
Okay.
that
All
was
right, give me a second, Kitty. Yeah, Dean. So she thinks Trump is amazing compared to other presidents. She likes that he talked about closing the border because she disagrees with open borders. She said that she likes his bill. She can't remember any specific bills, but she thinks it's in the first term. There was a bill that allowed vets to actually access health care coverage outside of the VA.
Yep, I am familiar. So listen.
Hey, before
Okay.
you go. I got therapy in 2 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here and leave it to you. I appreciate you for having me up, bro.
Appreciate you, Santana.
Bye, Santana.
Bye.
Alrighty, so let's talk about it. First and foremost, about the border. Let's go ahead and start there. What the heck has Trump done for the border? What has he done? Tell us all.
So you're for open borders?
I never made any positive assertion of any claim. I was
Okay.
just asking you
Well,
what Trump has done for the borders.
He closed it.
Okay.
Biden
What
had
did-
opened the border and left in millions of people.
Okay,
And it
well,
was
let's
an
talk.
invasion.
Okay, what
They
did
were
Biden
coming
do
in
to?
caravans.
What did Biden do to open the border, and what did Trump do to close the border?
I don't understand what you're asking, dear.
What
Biden
did-
did open the border.
Yeah, I'm asking you, what did he do to open the border?
Like, how did he go about
He opened. What do you mean? Like he opened the border? He stopped having.
How did he open the
immigration-
border?
Like,
He-
did he, bill?
he-
Did he send like?
He didn't do anything.
he
He
pull
just
troops?
allowed caravans to come through.
Okay,
and
well,
no-
if he
stop
didn't do
people.
anything, if he was just like a lame duck sitting president on the border, well, then wouldn't the border be closed under his administration since Trump put so much effort into closing it in his first term?
Trump didn't finish finish the border wall.
Okay, so the border was
Remember,
open at the
he
end of
finished
Trump's
the border
term.
wall.
So the border was open at the end of Trump's term.
Yes. Yes.
So in Donald Trump's
there
first
were-
4 years, he left the border open.
Well, it was monitored. It wasn't completely open like what Biden did.
Okay, so
There
then
was
Biden
still
like
a
reversed
lot
some of Trump's
people coming
progress.
in. If you remember, there was still a lot of caravans coming in under Trump when it first started, and then he left supplies and stuff to finish the wall, and Biden sold that at a junkyard to get money because he needed to replace the fuel he dumped out of our supplies to get his votes.
Okay, well, we have a lot to talk about. A lot of misinformation here. So the first thing that you said is that Biden sold parts of Donald Trump's border wall for like pennies on the dollar to scrapyard to get more money to replenish the fuel reserves.
I don't know
So
if it
A,
went
that's
through.
not true. B, the bill that you're talking about did sell some of the border wall, but it was the degraded old wall, no new wall. And C, that was actually a provision added in by the Republicans. And D, you said that Biden had emptied the fuel reserves to get votes. No, Biden emptied the fuel reserves when we had the highest gas prices literally in the history of our country.
Yes, gas prices did get very, very high. But you can't.
Yeah, and that's what the fuel reserves are for, by the way. I want to clarify
No,
that.
it is
The
not. That is
reason
for
why-
our military.
No, the
That is
reason
for
why
our military.
the
that
reason
keeps our governments. That keeps our nation safe.
the reason why we have fuel reserves is it's the strategic petroleum reserve is to release the strategic petroleum reserves when we are at a time of crisis to alleviate
Not
the stresses
when
and
it's
stressors,
it's
not just on our military, but also on we, the American people, to ensure that we're not paying astronomically high gas prices. And
So-
when
so
Biden
you're-
released the fuel reserves, we literally had the highest gas prices in the history of this country, onset by the pandemic, OPEC, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But I'd like to clarify here. In Donald Trump's second term, he has done nothing to shut down the southern border. There's been no proactive long-term border policy to reduce undocumented entry. There's been no monumental efforts to increase patrol or to hire new agents to be at the
Then
border.
why aren't caravans coming in by the truckload like they used to?
Okay. Well, A, that's not true about under Biden.
were,
and
and you
B,
know they
the
were.
reason why undocumented entry has significantly gone down is because he's scaring it away. Like, just look at what Trump is doing to immigrants in the country. Okay, he's
really
killing
think
them.
immigrants-
He is torturing them. He
He's
is
killing
deporting
them.
them with no due process. Yes. Okay. He is standing by ICE agents that execute citizens protesting for immigrants.
yeah.
Okay.
Citizens
And he's
being
trying to
executed.
infringe on the Constitution to strip citizens of their citizenship. So he could then deport them in violation of their constitutional rights. Yet clearly, okay, because of all the fascistically bad, terrible things Trump is doing to infringe on the human, natural, and constitutional rights of the immigrants who are already here, of course, new immigrants aren't going to want to come here. And that's why there's been a significant reduction in undocumented entry.
I disagree.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have data to explain why this hypothesis is reasonable. Okay. We
You
could
had
point
data
at.
that. Sorry. Go
I have
ahead.
data to
spit
explain
it.
why this hypothesis is reasonable. We could point towards individual actions, like ICE murdering Alex Preddy, ICE murdering Lorenzo, ICE murdering Renee Good, okay? ICE deporting 300 undocumented immigrants with no due process to
If
El
you
Salvador.
attack a police officer, what happens? You get shot.
None of these people attacked any police officers, and B, no, that's not true. You'd have to be attacking a police officer with an imminent risk of deadly force.
Okay,
Grab
so
everything in the galaxy. Like for instance, if you're like just screaming at a police officer, verbally attacking them, no, they can't just shoot and kill you. If like you are like and like I don't know, like a child or something, and you're trying to like hit a cop, no, like they want to be justified in the use of reasonable deadly force. Do you think that, for instance, ICE murdered Alex Preddy? If you know who that is.
The guy that was carrying the gun that kicked
Yeah.
the back of the car?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah. Do you think that shooting was justified?
He had a gun. He was told to let go of the gun. He didn't have his, he should have taken his hand off the gun. And first
Okay.
of all, why is he protesting with a gun?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I don't understand why you're questioning the constitutional rights that we as citizens have. Okay. Because of the 4th and 14th Amendment, as well as the state legislation in Minnesota, there's nothing illegal about open carrying a gun. That is his
Absolutely.
right to do.
Yes,
Now,
yes,
B,
yes.
you're saying that he had his hand on his gun, and they were asking him to take his hand off his gun, and he
Well, they were
wouldn't, and that's
wrestling.
why he shot at him. So that's just not true. Okay. So he never, at any point in the engagement with the LEOs, touched his gun. Okay, by the time they had shot him, in fact, an ICE agent had taken his gun off and away from his holster, and he was on the ground on all four. We're talking knees and hands. And then they shot him dead. So everything that you just said about the justification of the shooting being the fact he was reaching for his gun is false, 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 false.
I disagree.
Where's your evidence?
Honey, I'd have to look up stuff. I didn't come with a file folder and stuff. I came to just debate you on different topics. I don't
Okay.
have like
How
actual.
about we debate about something that you wouldn't need empirical evidence for? Do you think that abortion is murder?
Well, in a sense, it is. Yeah, you're killing something that's alive.
Do you think that abortion should be legal?
Should be legal to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, this is a really big reason to not support Trump. Because he overturned Roe v. Wade, there are now 66 million American women and girls who no longer have access to legal abortion. That's like a big deal.
It goes
66
back-
million people, bro. That's a lot of
He didn't-
people.
He didn't end it. He took it back to the states, doll.
That's ending it. Roe v. Wade
No.
was a constitutionally enshrined protection for all women and girls to access abortion regardless of the state that they're in. He terminated and ended that constitutionally enshrined protection, leading many states to banning it. And because of that, 66 million American women and girls no longer have access to abortion, including 60 rape victims that are impregnated per day and denied access to abortion because of that.
You tell me a girl gets raped, she goes to the doctor and she can't get an abortion now?
In 10 of our 50 states because of Donald Trump overturning Roe v. Wade. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's according to that state. That's it's.
But that state wouldn't have been able to do that if Donald Trump didn't give them the ability to. Like, imagine that a parent gave their child a gun, and they knew if they gave their child a gun, they'd take that gun to school and kill people. Okay, they give them the gun, they take it to school, they kill people. Would that parent be responsible for that? Well, yeah, because they knew that if they gave their child a gun, they'd kill people with it, and they still chose to give their child a gun. Similar to Trump. He knew that if he gave the states the ability to ban abortion, many would ban it even in circumstances of rape victims being pregnant, yet he still did it. He is at least a part of the problem there. He shares the responsibility for that outcome.
You're looking at this completely wrong. He sent it back to the states where it should have never been. It shouldn't. I don't want my government having control over my life.
Which is
That's
why
a
Roe
lot
v.
of
Wade
people-
was important.
yeah.
So
You know,
the
you guys-
Constitution
you guys-
limits the power of the government. It doesn't give it more power. When we say that, oh, like access to abortion is enshrined in our Constitution and protected by the federal government, that is just an acknowledgement from the government on all level that they will not be able to control your life and tell you what you can or can't do with your body or what medical service you can or can't get. When we overturn those federal protections, we're basically just terminating the self-acknowledgement from the government that they won't try to control your life and your access to healthcare. So if you don't want the government to control your life, then you shouldn't support Donald Trump giving the government the ability to control your life. Roe v. Wade was a thing that prohibited the government from having that ability.
No. Sorry. I disagree.
How did I go wrong? How did I go wrong?
Because the more control you give the government, the less freedom you have. And Roe v. Wade was the government holding control over who can and can't get an abortion. Now it goes back to the states.
Roe v. Wade was not the government holding control over who can and can't get an abortion, because Roe v. Wade was an enshrined constitutional protection for all women and girls to make that decision for themselves. Think about it this way. Think about it this way. Think about it this way. Before Roe v. Wade was overturned, is there anything that Alabama could do to control the access to health care in the sense of abortion for the women and girls in that state?
No.
After Roe v. Wade was overturned, was there anything that the government in Alabama could do to control women and girls' access to abortion?
Yes.
Okay, so overturning Roe v. Wade gave the government more control.
No.
You just said yes.
The state more control, not the government.
The state is a government.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
States don't have governments?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
It's
What body?
from the federal government.
Wait, before
there's federal government and then there's state government.
Before Roe v. Wade was overturned, was there anything that the federal government could do to ban abortion? Tell women what they can and can't do. Exactly. After Roe v. Wade was overturned, now the federal government could if they wanted to. Roe v. Wade was the dam holding back the government on any and all levels, federal, state, or local, from banning and or restricting a woman's access / choice to an abortion. If you don't want the government to be able to control you in your life, Roe v. Wade was the dam preventing the government on all levels from doing so.
But it was supposed to never, ever, ever go to Roe v. Wade. It was supposed to never be federal. It was supposed to just be a state issue. If you go back, it was originally a state issue.
Okay.
Roe v. Wade made it federal. And that just gave government control, more control. More
Control over what? Control over what?
What they, like I said, it's been forever since I read the bill.
Roe v. Wade just said that every woman and girl has a right to access abortion. That's all it was. Think about it this way. Do you think that the First Amendment gives the government more control or less control?
Okay,
Does the First Amendment give the government more control or less control?
Less.
Why?
Because it's my rights.
Exactly. The First Amendment, freedom of speech, gives the government less control because it is an acknowledgement from the government that they cannot abridge upon your right to speech. Roe v. Wade gave the government less control because it was an acknowledgement from the government that they cannot abridge upon your right to access abortion. If the First Amendment gives the government less control, then Roe v. Wade did too. And if Roe v. Wade gave the government more control, then the First Amendment does too. The First Amendment and Roe v. Wade functioned in the same way. The First Amendment protects your speech, and under Roe v. Wade, the 14th Amendment protected your access to abortion. There's no difference.
Okay, let me put it in this view, okay? Just hear me out. Have an open mind and just hear me out for one minute. Because I believe women can have an abortion doesn't mean everybody believes women can have an abortion. Everybody wants their First Amendment right. Everybody wants to be free. Okay, these are all rights we've agreed on, but not everybody has agreed to allow women to have an abortion.
Okay.
And that's why that's why it should have been always just left with the state. Because certain states, yes, they allow it. Other states don't allow it.
Are you saying that in the 1920s?
People live under the state law that they want to. Otherwise, people in New York wouldn't be fleeing to Florida.
Are you saying that
They
people...
live where they rush most free and have the most rights. If you believe women should not get an abortion, you live in a state that doesn't allow it. That gives you more freedom to choose where you live.
Okay. A, I don't think that people should have the freedom to oppress the abilities of others. Like, hello? B, yeah, you're saying that, like overturning Roe v. Wade gives people more freedom to say what other individuals can or can't do with their bodies. Okay. Yeah, I guess it technically does. That's not a freedom I value. I don't value freedoms that allow people to do bad things in virtue of what the freedom is. Like, I don't want people to have the freedom to enslave black people. I don't want people to have the freedom to rape. I don't want people to have the freedom to murder, because those are all bad things to do. Very similarly, I don't want people to have the freedom to infringe on and prevent legally a woman's access to an elective lethal abortion, because that's a bad thing to do. But what I will say here is you're arguing that it should be at the state level because it's not a unilateral countrywide consensus that abortion is a good thing. Okay. In the 1920s, was there a unilateral countrywide consensus that women should be able to vote? No. In fact, there were more Americans who didn't think that than those in which did. All right? So what's the question? Would you argue that in the 1920s we shouldn't have codified the 19th Amendment? We shouldn't have allowed the federal government to take the freedoms away from state governments to ban a woman's access to voting? What's the difference?
When that baby was conceived, whether it was under a rape or under an aggressive father that busts into your bedroom at 3 o'clock in the morning, okay? Or a boyfriend that takes you out to dinner and then back to a cabin with his friends to rape you with them, okay? It doesn't matter how that in that baby's view, that baby did not ask for any of that. That baby should be born pure. That's what a lot of people believe. Just because I believe that baby should be aborted for the mother's safety and health and well-being and mental everything, some people believe that life is the most precious thing, and that baby didn't ask to be conceived in a rape. It didn't ask to have a mother that is going to suffer her whole life. Some people believe that baby deserves to have every chance, just like you do, sitting here debating me now.
I think that there's a difference between me and that baby. I have powers of intellect. I could rationalize the world around me. I could subjectively express.
A child doesn't?
Yeah, a fetus doesn't.
What?
A fetus does not have the powers of intellect. A fetus does not have subjective experiences.
You don't think babies dream?
Precisely. I don't think that fetuses dream before 20 through 24 weeks.
Oh,
that's what the science says. Okay? And why am I bringing the science up? Because I think that's what makes us matter. Okay? I don't think that our species makes us matter.
No, babies dream. Look it up. They do.
So the neuroscientific consensus, and this is just an empirical fact, is that sentience, or the ability to like do anything subjective, such as dreaming, that emerges and occurs at around 20 through 24 gestational weeks with the thymocortical connections to the prefrontal cortex. That's just I don't know. So like obviously prior to that point, if the nervous system is not sufficiently advanced to the extent of developing and expressing sentience, like clearly they can't dream because that would be a sentient subjective experience. So my point is, before that point, I don't think that the fetus's life has value. Okay? Because I don't think it's our species that makes us who we are. I think it's our capabilities and our powers that make us who we are.
Right. So a lot of people believe that you're going to kill that infant, okay, just because of what it was created. And that child, you're saying maybe it's not thinking at that point when it's going to die, but it will start thinking. It will, if you give it a chance. Maybe it'll grow up and find a cure for some cancer. Some people believe that.
Or maybe it'll be the next Hitler. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you're saying, oh, it will get this power at one point. Yeah, that's true. But why does that matter?
Because a lot of people believe a life is the most precious thing in the world, and
a life. But guess why? Why does a fetus matter? Why should I be concerned with the value of this fetus? Why does it have value at all?
Because every life should matter.
Well, I mean, no, you don't think that. I mean, if you eat meat, you think it's okay to slaughter cows, chickens, and pigs. Okay, we don't think that. We think it's murder to pull the plug on a brain dead patient.
by border agents. You're upset about him. You don't even know him.
Yeah, but not because I think that every biological
but
organism
the baby-
matters, but rather because that was specifically Alex Preddy was a biological organism with a mind like ours, making him a person like me. I care about people.
the
I care about
baby-
people. I care about agents.
You think the baby is?
No, exactly. I don't think that the person is. I don't think that the fetus is a person. I don't think that the fetus is an agent. I don't think that the fetus is a subject. Because I think that there are certain qualities that are required to be a subject, like the powers of intellect, and we don't apply personhood to, bacteria cells, inanimate objects, or like ants, for instance. Like why? Well, it's because
A lot of doctors believe that when the brain is built inside, when you have a baby and the heart beats finally, that's life. That heartbeat is the start of life. So
we're
a
not
lot of
denying
people
that
believe
it's. We're not denying that it's a life. We're just denying that it's a valuable life.
I think it should be aborted, me personally. But there's a lot of people, my parents are very pro-life. Very, very pro-life.
Okay, well, if you think that women should ultimately have that right, then you think it's wrong for people to take that right away.
I think it should be up to the states. That's all I believe. I think everybody should have the right to choose of their own accord.
Okay. If everybody should have the right to choose, then it shouldn't be up to states, because even states take away that right to choose from the people that didn't choose to vote for the pro-life legislation. You're not saying that everyone should have the right to choose. You're saying that the majority should have the right to choose.
I'm saying you should live where you want to live according to the laws of that state.
But I don't think that a lot of people who want abortions are equipped just to get up and move because of the new state law. Like, do you really think that an 18-year-old girl with a boyfriend is equipped to just get up and move and leave everything behind because Texas just passed a heartbeat bill? No, they're 18-year-olds. They're just now trying to get their feet up and off, the ground of the parents' house. They're just trying to get a job to start saving money, to make money, to live. Especially right now, the price of living is so expensive. And they're like, oh, they're just gonna get up and move to Cali. Like, no, that's not reasonable. And even if that was reasonable, and even if they could, I don't think that you should have to move and uproot your life just to have access to basic human dignities like healthcare.
No,
Legal access, not even paid legal access, just legal access that you pay for.
When I found out I was pregnant, I uprooted my whole life and moved. So it is possible.
A, it's not possible in many scenarios, and B, you shouldn't need to. That's my point, is that you shouldn't need to. Okay, think about it this way. Okay, it was possible for the black man during segregation to walk 500 feet to the right and use the colored only drinking fountain. But should they need to do that? No. They shouldn't need to go 500 feet to the right and use the colored only drinking fountain. They should be able to use the same drinking fountain as anybody else. They should be able to stay where they're at and have access to the same basic dignities and functions provided to us by society without walking 500 feet to the right and using a drinking fountain just for them. My point is, okay, you're saying, oh, you don't like the way that the state treats you unfairly? You don't like the fact that Texas has no reverence for women's access to healthcare? You don't like the fact that Texas and their constituents have no respect for basic human dignities, such as functions of bodily autonomy? Okay, you could move. Oh, okay, black man in the 1950s, you could move. You could move 500 feet to the right and use the other drinking fountain. Oh, because you technically have that option, it's therefore permissible for us to do something different here. Oh, because there's other towns that aren't sundown towns where you could be out past 7. Well, it's okay for this to be a sundown town. The point is your argument, just saying, oh, well, women can move away from the oppressive state government in which is infringing upon their basic rights and respects, doesn't then justify that oppressive state government infringing on the basic rights and respects. And by the way, another reason why you shouldn't be a Trump supporter right now is because other Trump supporters are in the chat right now spamming the hard R. Just putting that out there. A lot of you guys are really racist, and if you don't believe me, just look at my chat.
Who's racist?
Oh, your Trump supporting friends. Look at them. They're spamming the N-word hard R in the chat right now. That's a reason why you shouldn't be a Trump supporter, you know? But anyways, just focus on the response that I gave you as it relates to abortion.
Oh. Right there, that one. Why are they saying that?
Well, because they're like you. They're on the right. A lot of them are pretty racist, and they'll just tell you to your face. Like, those people agree with you.
Well, that's very rude, Dean. That's very rude because
Well,
I'm
I guess when I said like you, what I mean is like
Why am
political
I
affiliation.
racist?
Okay, that was vague. Okay, you haven't said the hard R. That's not what I'm trying to imply. I mean like when I say like you, I mean like within like your political camp.
So you're saying Republicans are racist?
I mean, yeah, Trump is really racist.
Okay.
We could go over the reasons why if you'd like. Zoe,
Oh,
thank
I
you for
know.
Galaxy.
I'm sure you have them all written down for yourself.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean,
I don't
his
remember
introduction into
everything
politics
he's
was
ever
racism.
said, but if you have lived through as many presidents as I have, your views will change. I guarantee when you're 40 years old, 45 years old, your views are going to completely change, sweetheart.
The older
you're
I
gonna
get, the more
walk
far
into
left I
a
get.
whole different world.
Next, thank you for the Galaxy Globe. Here's what I'll say. I think that Trump is actually the worst president of your life. Can you think of any other president in your lifetime outside of Trump that has called for the execution of their political opponents via means of hanging with no good reason? Can you think of any other president that has just straight up threatened genocide of 90 million people across the globe? Can you think of any other president that has, let's see here, threatened to invade our allies and like terminate NATO, terminate the UN? Can you think of any other president who's like called for the termination of the Constitution? Can you think of any other president that was found guilty of rape in court? Can you think of any other president that like boasted about and said it was super funny when they sexually exploited naked women and girls?
A lot of those I disagree with. I don't know. Pick a topic, we'll talk about it. I disagree with a lot of what you said because I mean, Trump. He is the most vocal president, I have to admit, I have ever seen in my life. His first term, everybody was thrown way off. We've never had a president, never, ever, ever had a president that was on TikTok or Twitter or anything. No one ever posted. You got to see the president twice a year on the TV. That was it. So, yes, he does go off on his little tangents. Sometimes Trump is a fucking lunatic. I agree with you. But there's a lot of times where his heart's in the right place and he's doing the right things. He might not go about it the right way, but he's doing the right things. Like what's going on in Iran right now? You think they should have a nuclear weapon? They'll blow
Trump
somebody
does.
up.
Trump thinks that they should have a nuclear weapon. He's the one that gave them the green light, by the way, in his first term. Let me tell you. So Obama, before Trump, got Iran to sign an agreement to never build a nuke. And then Obama walked into office and just tore that shit up.
Yep.
Trump walked into office and tore that shit up. Trump is the one that gave them the green light to start building nukes. That was Trump.
No.
Yes.
Obama.
It was called the.
Obama sent them a plane of cash, hon.
Okay. Just
a
because you
plane
hear
of
that on the
cash.
TV doesn't make it true. What you're talking about is a $1.7 billion that Obama gave back to Iran that was theirs because in the 70s, we told them that we'd sell them military equipment for $500 million. They gave us the money, then we never gave them the military equipment. So when Obama was negotiating with the IRGC to prevent them from building nukes, the IRGC was like, well, we kind of have a bone to pick with you guys. In the 70s, y'all just straight up scammed us. And then Obama was like, okay. Hello.
Well, if
I'm a
Obama
diplomat.
was
I'll give you that money back. You know, we scammed it from you. That was unfair. It was bad for us to do. I'm willing to give you that money back if you agree to not build nukes. And they were like, okay. So yeah, a conditional for that agreement was us giving them their money back that we scammed from them in the 70s. Then we did.
Right.
And then they agreed to stop building nukes, and they honored the agreement. And then Trump walked into office.
No, they didn't. They did not honor the agreement, or they wouldn't have had nuclear stuff already done. They had centrifuges already done. They were already making a nuclear weapon. They had stuff to make an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Already done.
So everything that you're saying right now is wildly unsubstantiated and false. The agreement that we reached with Iran had a couple overseen bodies to make sure that they're upholding their end of the deal. The first one was the IAEA. That's an International Atomic Energy Watchdog Organization. We also had the EU, the UN, NATO, and the US. And we did quarterly investigations into the findings of the boots on ground oversight done by the IAEA, and it was affirmed every quarter from when Donald Trump put us in the agreement in 2015 to when Trump pulled us out in 2018 that they were upholding that agreement. There was never any evidence that they had enriched uranium beyond the threshold allowed. There was never any evidence that they had picked back up their ambitions for a nuclear program. There was never any evidence of anything that you're saying.
So when he sent planes over to blow up their centrifuges and the uranium got buried, that's not true?
Well, that was after Trump pulled us out in 2018. I thought, just track the timeline here, ma'am. Obama puts us in this agreement that prevents Iran from building a nuclear weapon in 2015. It works
think
for
they
3
honored that?
years
You really
before
think
Trump
they
pulled
honored
us
that?
out. It's not that I think they honored it. It's that I know they honored it.
You're delusional. They didn't honor that.
Ma'am, I'm giving you evidence. The IAEA is an internationally credited and trusted organization. They had 300 in-person visits per year per facility in Iran, plus access to satellite imagery of all sites, plus access to 24/7 tamper-proof surveillance feed of all
And
sites
they
as well.
stopped letting them come in to check.
No, that's not true. What you're referring to is the one time that they attempted to come in to check without a 10-day heads up, because that was required per the terms of the agreement. And Iran was like, hey guys, you're breaking the agreement. Honor the agreement. And they're like, okay. And then they came back 10 days later.
Can I ask you an honest question?
Can you address why you think I'm delusional for believing the IAEA? By the way, that evidence was also signed off by Trump in his first term in 2017. He said that Iran was honoring the agreement, making Trump delusional too, apparently.
I didn't know Trump signed on the green. I don't know about his first term. A whole lot was going on at that time. He was being sued and taken to court, and there was...
Yeah, being sued for rape? Yeah.
No, not the rape. There was other things going on.
Oh, you mean it's 34 felonies?
Yeah, those.
Oh, yeah. He was found guilty of the felonies, and he was found guilty of the rape.
It wasn't rape. He was found guilty of. If you look it up, it wasn't actual a rape with
Oh.
a...
Do you mind if I ask you a question? Do you consider a man forcefully penetrating a woman's vagina with his fingers to be rape?
No.
Okay. Do you know that like everyone disagrees with you?
Maybe, yeah. I'm
So you-
sure.
but-
I have
so
my
are
views.
you saying that it's
Everybody
just
have my
rape?
views.
Are you saying that it's just rape with a penis?
It's rape with anything that... Well, it might not just be a penis. There are other things somebody could use.
Okay. Like fingers?
The situation was in a dressing room. I don't
One
think she
second.
was
One
naked,
second.
laying
One second.
down.
We're not even
They were
talking about...
raping her.
We're not even talking about Trump yet. We're just talking about our definitions of these terms. So I asked you if you consider a man forcefully penetrating a woman's vagina with his fingers unconsensually to be rape. You said no. So then I was like, okay, so it's just rape with a penis? And you're like, well, there's other things they could use. And I was like fingers? And then you didn't really
but
respond.
I don't see... I don't know. Maybe I have false views, but I just don't see some guys trying to jam his hand down my pants. I'm going to do everything I can to stop him.
Okay. Well, look,
So
look,
he's not going to be getting to my crotch.
Okay, but like, I don't want to use you in this hypothetical, so we're just going to use a hypothetical woman. Okay, he does get to her vagina, and he forcefully penetrates it with his fingers unconsensually. Why is that not rape?
No, I read the whole thing, and I don't remember exactly how it was worded. I'm sorry. Like I said,
Okay,
you know, I
just
had
answer my question.
a terminal condition, so I can only remember short things, and I can't remember exactly what the whole
Then just don't worry
thing
about it.
was
Can you just give
about.
us a general idea of what you think rape is? Like, what do you think rape is? I think rape is like the unconsensual penetration of any orifice of an
Obviously.
individual's body. Like with, you know, something to do with like sexual or
trying to
sex
make me
too.
look like an idiot.
That's
That's
like a really
all.
like vague definition.
Just
No, I'm
to
just,
get
I'm just
hit.
like trying to understand the way that you use these terms. What's rape?
What? You obviously know what rape is, and I obviously know what rape is.
Apparently, like, one of us doesn't, because I'm saying it's rape for a man to forcefully penetrate a woman's vagina with his fingers, and you're saying otherwise. How about this? I'll tell you the reasons why I consider that to be
I
rape.
was raped, okay? So
I'm
don't
sorry to hear that,
say. I need to take a break.
All right. I understand.
She's a very passionate woman.
I get that. I'm too. You know, I mean, I think that this is really important for everybody to understand. Like, there are a lot of people, unfortunately, including your mom, that just write rape off and like just completely discredit it because Trump did it. Like, but your mom is probably like the billionth person I've spoken with who says it's not rape with your fingers. Why? Well, it's because that's what Trump did to her, at least that were the findings of the court, and they just don't want to say that the court found he raped her. Okay, but like, yeah, no, like clearly, okay, it's rape with fingers. Okay, like, think about it. Why is it rape with a penis? Because it's infringing on an individual's dignity, autonomy, consent, privacy. Okay, violating them, and violating their preferences, violating their desires, violating what they want, causing them immense immediate harm, long-term harm, trauma. Okay, like those are the reasons why it's rape and it's wrong to do with the penis. But I mean, don't all of those same reasons apply to a finger? Okay, a man's attacking a woman and forcefully penetrating her vagina with his finger, violating her autonomy, her privacy, her consent, her dignity, her respect, her mental states, her preferences, her desires, doing something that she doesn't want you to do to her, causing immediate harm, long-term harm, mental and physical and trauma. Like, yeah, like all the same reasons apply. Like every reason why we consider it to be wrong for a man to forcefully penetrate a woman's vagina with his penis also applies to a man forcefully penetrating a woman's vagina with his fingers. And that means it's just as wrong. They're like just identical actions with a different part of the man's body. And if they're identical actions insofar as what the outcomes are that are produced by the action, why is one rape and one non-rape? Like, it seems like that's something that could only be argued from like a vague, elusive position of, I don't know, nonsense. I like there's seemingly like no reason there. And I mean, this is like the status quo too. 35 to 40 states have adopted legislation that defines rape to include the forced penetration of a woman's vagina with a man's finger. It's called digital rape. You're raping them with your digits. Digital rape. Digital rape is a thing that exists, and you will be sent to jail for rape if you do it. So, yeah, that's why I say that Trump was found guilty of rape. They found him guilty of forcefully penetrating a woman's vagina with his fingers. If your mom needs a moment, that's fine. If she's also not going to come back, that's also fine. Just let me know.
She just sat down next to me. I'm not sure how she's feeling.
Okay. Yeah, ma'am, are you interested in continuing the dialogue, or do you think you have had enough for the day?
No, we can keep talking, honey. Can we just switch topics? Please.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I'm down because I'm getting a sense that this is, like triggering something in you because of what you've been through. I'll respect that. But just, I mean, reflect on your actions. What's the next topic you'd like to discuss?
I don't know. You pick something.
Okay. Trump has destroyed the economy. Trump is a madman who has called for the execution of his political opponents. Here's a claim. If Biden called for the execution of Republicans in Congress, America would revolt. We would say we have a tyrannical leader who has no respect for core American values, who wants to be a king, who wants to be a tyrant.
Biden
Okay.
did tap all the senators' phones.
You're talking about Operation Arctic Fox,
Yeah, they searched
in association with the 2020 election in January 6th, in which they had approved warrants signed by judges to do in accordance with the law. That's how the law works. And guess what? Senators are not above it. Okay, but that's definitely not calling for them to be executed. Trump called for the execution of 6 Democrats in Congress. He said that they should be hung with no good reason.
I didn't hear that.
Would you like to? Would you like to see it? He posted about it on Twitter. Take a look. You need to know, Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social. He responded to a post published by the Washington Examiner titled, "Democratic Veterans in Congress Urge Service Members to Refuse Unspecified Unlawful Orders," by saying that this is really bad and dangerous to our country, and that their words cannot be allowed to stand. He then followed that up with a second post that reads, "This is seditious behavior, punishable by death." And then he reposted a comment that reads, quote unquote, "Hang them, George Washington would." This is the most dystopian thing I... Yeah, that's a pretty compelling case, man.
I'd have to look into. I really didn't look into that. I didn't even know about it.
Would you like to see the video that they posted that he responded to with that statement?
Sure.
Okay, because this is like all the context. You just said that you had to look into it. Okay, this is looking into it. Like, this is all of the context there is. Here's the statement made by the Democrats in Congress that he was responding to, calling them traitors and saying that they should be killed for.
Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly. Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander. Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy. Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer. Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now. Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk. This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
in the Army, or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
the American people need you. We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution, and who we are as Americans. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Yep, that video is what warranted, quote unquote, Donald Trump calling for them to literally be hung. You now have nothing more to look into. That's it. That's the context. That's everything.
Okay. Thank you for showing it.
Do you think that anything in that video warranted his call for them to be hung?
No, I don't. He goes off on his tangents. Like I said, there's a lot of things about Trump I really don't like.
Tangent. That's the most powerful person alive, the leader of our country, calling for the execution of his political opponents. Where do we see really powerful people calling for their for the execution of their opponents? Like the villains in like superhero movies, the bad guys in history books. Okay, the fascists from World War II. We don't see that from good leaders. That's not a trait of a good leader. It is. Do you agree that it is not a trait of a good leader who should be running our country to try to kill, or I guess call for the killing of people who disagree with them for no good reason? Can we agree that's not something our leader should be doing?
Trump has a thing with him where he goes off, and he's been, like I said before, he's been the most vocal president I've ever seen in my life.
You're not giving a straight answer here, ma'am. You're not giving a straight answer if that's something that our leader should be doing.
Yeah. Well, it's just like with the senators when they were having their messages searched and stuff.
What's the possible connection between those two things? What's the possible connection between a special counsel, not even Biden, a special counsel operating under Biden, subpoenaing phone records from senators possibly implicated in the J6 insurrection with due process legally by getting warrants approved by courts, and the president saying that his political opposition should be killed for doing nothing? What's the connection between those things? There's no connection.
No, you're right. There's no connection. But that's how Trump is. He just goes off on these tangents.
Which is why he shouldn't be president. Okay, when I'm giving you an example of a man, like saying that we should kill people who disagree with him, and you're like, oh, that's just how they are. Oh, just Trump being Trump. Okay, yeah, Trump should be in a mental institution, not in the presidency.
Like, a lot of people probably agree with you.
But like, imagine that like this wasn't the president. Imagine that this was just like somebody that you knew that you went to school with. and like they just like randomly start saying that we should like
Everybody's
kill
best
people who
friend.
disagree with
I
him.
don't know when everybody started hating him.
Okay, no, check this out. Okay, imagine that you're a college student and like one of the people at your college that you see every so often like seriously tells you about how he wants to kill people who disagree with him. Would you spend much time around that person?
Come on, we're all human. We've all said stuff like, "Oh God, I hate you. I wish you were dead." You know,
No,
stuff
not
like
no, not oh God, I hate you. I wish you were dead. Let's go ahead and hang this person because they disagree with me.
that's how he is. He's very sarcastically rude. I don't know how else to explain.
Where was the sarcasm in that message? I didn't see any sarcasm. It was hang them George Washington Wood in all caps.
Yeah, that's his sarcasm.
Have you ever how do you know it's sarcastic?
Because there's no way he would legally be able to hang senators out in the lawn.
Okay. So every time we ever hear a criminal say they want to do a criminal thing, it's actually just sarcasm because there's no way that they could legally do it? Really? Okay. Yeah, I would say that's a pretty unreliable standard.
Every time somebody says they're gonna, I wish my teacher would die. Well, that's it. You're fucked.
Well, there's a difference between saying, "Oh, I wish this person would die," which, by the way, is inappropriate, something that you shouldn't do. But like, okay, like we're clearly reading this as like, you know, as like, is you're like, you know, overrepresenting the way in which you feel. It is a way to be a little bit overbearing with an expressive disdain towards an individual that is also like really immature, and it's something that most typically children do. And there's a difference between saying like, "Oh, I wish this person would die," and saying, well, these people are seditious traitors guilty of high crime, and we should hang them like our first president, George Washington, would. Okay? Like, I think that there's a really big difference between those two things. A really big difference. Natalie, thank you for the gym gun. I just don't know why this isn't your red line. I don't know. Why is this not your red line? Why can't you say that, oh, fuck, he called for the execution of his political dissenters. This is contradictory to the nature and the fabric of what we as a nation should stand for. We accept and promote ideals of democracy, liberalism, and separation of powers. So we, the people, can have fair representation in our government. And we reject tyrants and wannabe dictators who think that they could just kill people who disagree with them. That's not the American way. Trump is one of those people. So we just reject him. Fundamentally, he shouldn't be in office. Like, what's holding you back from saying that?
He's done a lot of good things.
What's the biggest accomplishment of the Trump administration in their second term?
In their second term?
Yeah.
Closing the border.
Okay, but I thought that we went through earlier that you can't point towards any specific things that they did to close the border.
Yeah, I'd have to look into it.
Yeah, so you don't even know what they did, but this thing that they did that I don't know what they did outweighs him calling for the execution of his political opponents. Are you serious? Jamal, thank you for the galaxy. Would you stop supporting Trump as president if he intentionally infringed on the Constitution?
As in, by doing what?
Intentionally infringed on the Constitution?
Like took away my Second Amendment rights?
Yeah. Try, you would?
Yeah.
Okay.
If Trump took away my Second Amendment rights,
He did intentionally infringe on the Constitution. He infringed on the 14th Amendment through Executive Order number 14160 by intentionally infringing on the Constitution to strip birthright citizens of their birthright citizenship. Something more important than a gun. Your citizenship. He tried to take that away from the children born to undocumented immigrants on American soil. That was unconstitutional.
that wasn't supposed to be forever. That wasn't supposed to be forever. We're not supposed to be able. People from China were coming over here and having a baby and leaving, going back to China.
Can you give me a circumstance of that happening, please? Could you give me a circumstance of that happening, please?
How can I give you evidence, Dean? Seriously,
you
know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Do you agree that he did that was bad for him to do because it was in violation of the Constitution?
What was bad for him to do, honey?
To violate the Constitution and the 14th Amendment by trying to take birthright citizenship away from birthright citizens illegally?
I think he did the right thing by doing that because it wasn't supposed to last forever. It was just supposed
So you think he has the moral rights of a dictator? You just said it was the right thing for the president to try to terminate the Constitution.
No, he wasn't terminating the Constitution.
Yeah, he tried to terminate the 14th Amendment.
Yeah, he was trying to.
Do you think he has the moral rights of a dictator then?
Well, it was only supposed to last for a certain amount of time, and it's been forever.
Okay, so to clarify, if we want to change our Constitution, okay, we have to go through a process of amending it, which includes the states and Congress and a supermajority. Okay? It's not like the president can just will it in through decree, because then he'd be a dictator. If the president could just will in new parts of the Constitution or removes others through presidential decree, he's not a president. He's a dictator. Okay? Because then he has ultimate all power, because he controls the Constitution, the highest document in America. So that's why you're saying that you basically want Trump to be a dictator, because you think it's a good thing when he tries to illegally will in changes to the Constitution through decree. You want him to be a dictator.
That was only supposed to be a certain amount of time.
Okay, do you accept that you want him to be a dictator?
If that's what you want me to say, yeah, I accept he was a dictator. He ended. But I mean, it's only supposed to be for a certain amount of years. It wasn't supposed to go on for the rest of eternity.
No way! Oh my God. That's unreal. Listen to yourself, ma'am. You're saying, yeah, I guess I do kind of want him to be a dictator. Come on. Don't do that. Come on. Oh, no. Come on. We're supposed to reject dictators. This is America. What do you mean you want him to be a dictator? What the fuck do you mean, dude? What do you mean?
Do you think people are just going to come over from other nations and have a baby here and then leave, and that baby is raised under a communist nation?
A, you haven't been able to give me any evidence that people do that. B, it's very unlikely that people would do that, because who the hell is traveling across an ocean when they're like 35 weeks pregnant? And C, the reason why he wanted to take that away was to remove like the undocumented families with citizen children that are here. Okay? And that was specifically for the children born to undocumented immigrants. Now, come on. Like, come on, bro. How about this? Would you stop supporting Trump as president if he tried to... If he boasted about, like, barging into a woman's dressing room and looking at the naked people inside, unconsensually?
Would I say that again?
If Trump proudly boasted about barging into the dressing rooms of women and girls to look at their naked bodies unconsensually because he's a man, he can't be in there, would you still support him as president?
If he busted in a bunch of places and was harassing girls and...
Busted into a woman's dressing room.
Okay.
To look at the naked people inside, unconsensually.
Oh, I'm sure he did that. Yeah, because that's how everybody acted back in the 70s and 80s. It was a common thing. You're looking at this through this generation. It was a different time. It was a different time. You don't understand. Everything was different.
Help me understand. That's like sexual violence for a man to barge into the dressing room of like a naked little girl to look at her vagina. That's also probably like pedophilia. Like, yeah, like that's pedophilia, right? It's a pedophilic action.
I didn't think the girl was under the age of 16 or 18. Sorry.
Okay, well, there were many. But if they're over 18, what would that change? They're still in the woman's dressing room to get changed with a reasonable expectation of privacy away from non-women. For men, that's why they're there.
You know, you're jumping things, and I don't know what you want me to respond with. I'm just telling you, I agree with a lot of things he's done.
Okay, name one thing that he's done outside of closing the border which you can't substantiate that you agree with.
I agree with him sending the abortion stuff back to the States. I agree with
Even though you're pro-choice and you think that women should be able to access abortions.
Agree with the fact that he's taken a lot of control over keeping men and women's sports.
What the fuck? Wait, whoa. You just got done saying that it's like totally fine for him to like bust down the door into a woman's dressing room and like unconsensually perv on the naked bodies of women and girls. But all of a sudden you have problems with a trans woman playing lacrosse? How does that work? Can you help me understand that? That's crazy.
Why you think a man and that is a trans female is not?
I mean, I could give you my reasons why I think that trans women, not men, should be able to play in women's sports under some circumstances. Okay, as soon as you can help me understand why you care more about a trans woman playing in a woman's sport than a man barging into a woman's dressing room and unconsensually looking at them in the nude.
Oh my God.
That's a fair question, ma'am. That's a very fair question. I feel like a vast majority of the viewers of the live stream, even viewers that like don't think trans women should be able to play in women's sports, agree that it's like crazy to think that that's more problematic than a man barging into a woman's dressing room to look at naked women and girls in the nude. That is a very fair, like, very fair thing that even people who disagree with me on my convictions on how some trans women should be able to play in women's sports agree with me on this.
Do you think Biden was the best president ever?
No, he wasn't. He just happened to be a better president than Trump, and his domestic policy was top 10. I will say Biden had great domestic policy. But this is a pivot. This is a dodge. That's a non-answer. Why am I entertaining non-answers? Please, respond to the last thing I said. Come on. Listen, I'll give you a moment to think about it. I'll think. Sorry, I have a stutter. It doesn't act up too frequently, but sometimes it does. And I just made an appearance. Let me slow down. I'm going to give you a moment to think about an answer to that question. Okay? The question was, why do you care more about a trans woman playing in women's sports compared to a man barging into a woman's dressing room and looking at the naked people inside? And while you think about that, I'm going to thank a couple people that have supported the live stream. Thank you, Anthony, for the $1 on Venmo. Says, hey, Dean, love your streams. Thanks, man. Thank you so much, Iswell Kelly, for the $25, who says you've had some crazy people on here the last couple of days. Here's something to help you out. Bro, they've been so fucking crazy, Kelly. Thank you for the $25. I appreciate you. Show some love to Kelly for the crazy $25 donation. Thank you. Molly, thank you for the $10, who says, I'm 68. My father was born in 1905. My mother in 1920. They taught me basic morals like a man barging into a room where women are dressing, some with no clothes on, is wrong. Yes, so true. Is there anybody else watching the stream that's like above the age of 50 that has like never thought it was okay for a man to barge into a woman or girl's dressing room to look at them in the nude? Like, I agree that like society's progressed and gotten better. But that's almost like giving like the older generations like too much shit. You know, that's that's giving, I don't think I've ever said this before. That's giving the older generations way too much shit. I don't even think that's true. I don't think that in the 80s, everyone was just okay with men barging into women's dressing rooms and looking at them in the nude. Jason, thank you for the $10. I appreciate you. Thank you. By her saying that the 14th Amendment wasn't meant to last forever, she's saying that black people weren't meant to be citizens forever because that's why it was written. She's either insanely racist or insanely uneducated or both. No, good point, Jason. Thank you, Jamie, for the $50 donation on Venmo. Thank you, Jamie. That is a massive donation. Thank you so much. Jamie with the 50 says, I'm a 46-year-old woman and I've moved further and further left as the older I've gotten because my life experience has taught me empathy and compassion, not hate and fear. I think that you help others do the same. Well, thank you, Jamie, and thank you so much for being a shining example of the way that we should mature. Thank you for the $50. That is very kind of you. Same thing to you, Marie. Thank you for the $10. Jeffrey, thank you for the $10. Rillin, thank you for the $10. And Sarah with the $25, who says, I see that today's been very taxing, so here's something to help cover the quote-unquote troll toll. I appreciate you for the $25, Sarah. Let's get 250 Sarah W's. Caitlin, thank you for the $10. I appreciate you for your kind words. Then over on PayPal, thank you so much for the $15. Jordan, who says, flash us a smile. Dean. She sent that in a while ago. I don't know if I can do that now. With this guest, I don't think so. Matthew, thank you for the $20 on Super Chat, who says, I can't read that out, but I appreciate you for the love. Over on PayPal, thank you so much, Rosie, for the $5. And Sarah, thank you for the $20, who says, I want to ask/debate, should gun rights be restricted to protect mentally ill people from suicide? Do arguments about autonomy and ideas to do with pro-choice contradict this? Or do you see other considerations? Well, I mean, I think that people with like a track record of mental illness should definitely not be able to own a gun. You know, like we're talking about like diagnosed conditions or like 5150s, maybe in like recent history. Thank you so much, Brandon, for the $10. I appreciate you, Brandon. SJ, thank you for the $15, who says, thank you once again for being a light in my dark days. I will always have your back, even miles away. I appreciate you. Shout out to you. Love you, SJ. Thank you for the $15. As well as Kitchen Knife, thank you for the $10, who says, get it, King. Danielle, thank you for the $20, who gives me a way to stop the trolls from joining the live stream. I'm going to keep that to myself, Danielle. Thank you for the idea to ponder. Appreciate you. And Marianne, thank you for the $10. And Caitlin, thank you for the $10. Thank you. We're all caught up on PayPal. Listen, if you want to support the show, if you want to support me, if you want to support what we do, you can actually find my Venmo and my PayPal handle right there at the top of the phone screen. It's just my name, Dean Withers, without the letter E in Withers. Do quadruple check that spelling, though. You could also find it in the pin message on YouTube, and the links are always in the link tree in my bio as well. So have you thought of a reason why you think that it's better for a man to barge into a woman's dressing room and look at the naked people inside? Something that you seem to take no issue with compared to a trans woman competing in women's sports?
No, I don't think one is more important than the other. I don't think they're even in the same category.
Okay, well then why was your response when I brought up Trump barging into a woman's dressing room to look at naked people? Well, I don't care. I bet he's done that. But then your response to trans women being in women's sports was, rah.
I think women's sports should be special just for women. We are built.
Why not women's dressing rooms?
Well,
Why should women's dressing rooms not be special just for women?
Barging into women's dressing rooms.
Okay, so do you admit that Donald Trump engaged in a sexual action that was unconsensual?
I guess, yeah.
Do you agree that that's literally the definition of sexual violence?
I guess you can look at it that way.
Okay, so you admit that Trump engaged in and then boasted about sexual violence?
I don't know. I don't think he boasted about it. I don't remember. That was so long ago.
It's your obligation to do that. So you have done that. Now, I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show. Yes. And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
like
everything is good. You're there. Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
It sounded like boasting to me. He said, and I quote, the funniest thing I'll do is... Sounds like boasting to me, ma'am.
Yeah, at that time you can say that, but he was on the radio show with Howard Stern, and Howard Stern is as vulgar as it comes, and you know how you are when you hang with your buddies and your friends and you're joking around. And
I hang with Parker down here. Parker, when we've been hanging out and joking around, have I ever boasted about sexually violating a woman?
No, that's never happened before. Nothing ever even close to that. I don't know what type of men you think, how you think men should be acting, but I think men shouldn't act that way. Do you think men should act that way?
Especially men that you support as president.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a role model for all children.
Yeah.
To look up to. Remember kid president? Children are supposed to be able to look up in a personal personality sense to the president in terms of character. He clearly does not exhibit that, right?
But he is not a role model, that's for sure. Trump is, and he's always been this way. And everybody used to love Trump. He used to be everybody's friend. And then he ran for office, and now everybody hates him. I don't know.
Dude, Dude.
Things are a lot different now.
Dude, okay, why can we not fundamentally agree that people who've engaged in sexual violence should not hold public office? Why can't we fundamentally agree?
Because there's so many people involved with sexual violence, you would have to arrest everybody.
Wait. How about this? Do you agree that it should be illegal for people held civilly liable or criminally responsible of sexually abusing someone?
I think she's possibly blocking out.
Hello? Do you think it should be illegal for people to run for president of the United States if they've been held civilly liable of sexual abuse or criminally responsible of sexual abuse?
I think that she's clogging out. So we're actually just debating the mom of somebody, and I think that she's done. Okay. Hey, I'm just going to call you Ravioli since it's your screen name. Thanks for bringing your mom up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that this was a lot of information for her, a lot that she's going to want to look into, a lot that I think it's kind of scary for her. I think it's all she's known. I think it's the culture she's been involved with. But I know that she does support trans rights. She does support abortion. She's not racist by any means. So I sense that she knows that Fox News is an entertainment source, that they're not legally even a news source. Like she's quite logical, but Trump is a nerve that is easily struck. So
if I were you, I'd recommend checking out leavingmaga.org. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Dean.
You have a good rest of your day.
You too. Take care, Parker. Take care, Dean.
Alrighty. Wow. Parker, today has been a mess.
Yeah, how's today been? I'm sorry, man. It sounds like it's been bad.
So that was the second debate of the stream, and we've been live for 3 hours and 48 minutes.
Wait, how long was the debate?
The first debate was pretty long. It was like an hour and a half, but then that was like 49 minutes. We went an hour and a half without a debate. Like an hour and a half of trolls. I was actually going to end the stream early, but then I found her.
Are you serious, bro?
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I like a couple trolls. It's pretty funny, but like when it's like an hour and a half, like holy. When it's literally everyone in the queue, holy. Layla, thank you for the $10 donation on Venmo, who says, I just saw a video about how gas prices will go back up again. Do you know anything about that? It's just probably referencing the fact that we're nearing the end of our reserves, and we just can't keep on dumping more and more and more into the market. So there's going to be like a shut-in shock to the supply because of closures and issues, not just at the Strait of Hormuz, but the global supply of oil. Am I right, Parker?
Yeah, it's down those lines. Reducing supply, also like limits of trade routes specifically within the area. So yeah, this was bound to happen given that we've been propping up the markets with our reserves.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrew, as well, for the $15 donation. Ask her, how does she feel about trans individuals in the military? Curious if the argument changes that. Well, we moved on. She was done. I do really appreciate you for the $15, oh Andrew. That's very kind of you, my friend. Same thing to you, Lizard. Thank you for the $10. Who says, I remember when I did a project for school back in 2011 in NY. I found out Trump was looking into running for president. My Republican dad thought it was a joke when I told him. Well, I mean, yeah, the notion of Trump running for president literally was a joke. It was literally a joke. Okay? And I mean, you know, a bunch of Trump supporters like use that to Aura Farm and like, how's this for a joke? How's this for a joke? But in all reality, no, it was a joke. King, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. You're telling me that you don't want me to read that aloud, so I'll keep that on myself. Let's see. R, thank you for the $10. Who says, thank you for being a light in these dark times. I've always loved and supported your live streams. I've always considered you one of the best voices of the people who know what's best for our country. Well, thank you for the $10. I'm so happy that you find a lot of value in the stream. I try to be a good voice. I try my best. Victoria, thank you for the $20. Who says, definitely up topic. I appreciate you, Victoria. Let's get 200 Victoria W's down below in that comment section. 200 Victoria W's. Thank you for the love. And then Cassie, thank you for the $10. Who says, thank you for all that you do. Well, thanks for watching today, Cassie. I hope that you took something positive away. Same thing to Christopher, who sent $5 and said, thank you for your work, Dean. Oh, man. Have you just had really brutal guests recently, Parker?
They have been tending to get a little bit more extreme,
Yeah.
but I'll go through ebbs and flows. Like some days I'll go through like, oh, I have like a lot of just like misinformed people who change their mind very quickly. Like that tends to be like a lot of like conversations, but then other days it will just be crazy and really annoying. Most days it's just abortion, immigration, and trans people. That's literally all I hear about from Trump supporters. Other than that, like very, very small sprinkles of like the economy.
Yeah. One of my friends actually just pointed this out. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. We had 4 rape apologists in a row. And then yesterday, we didn't just have a rape apologist. We had a rape advocate join the stream. It was like some like 25-year-old woman too. And she was just
Dude,
like a
what
rape
the
advocate.
fuck? Advocate?
Yeah, so we explored her self-defense principle, and she's like, "Oh, you could only like defend your life by killing somebody else if like if they're gonna kill you." I was like, "Okay, so like, what if they're like raping you?" She was like, "No, you can't kill them." What if it was a child getting raped? She was like, "No, a child can't kill him." And we ended up she ended up saying, and I quote, that if you are in the process of getting raped and the only way to stop it is to kill the rapist, you have a moral obligation to see out the rape until the end. And she ended up saying that. And she said that this applies for brutal rape and torture up to 24 hours. But as soon as it passes 24 hours of brutal rape and torture, you are then finally permitted to kill them.
Dude, that's just so disgusting. Like, what the fuck goes through people's brains to say some shit like that? It's so fucking gross.
Yeah. And she even like got down to saying that like if you were to do otherwise, that you'd be a murderer.
That's just so fucking horrible. Genuinely.
Yeah.
Dude, I understand where the fucking mental health has got to decline after hearing that. That's just genuinely horrible.
Well, I mean, yeah. I have to be able to like foster and support my own mental health while doing these debates, and that's a big challenge to make in those scenarios. And honestly, it's just kind of made me like disassociate a little bit, if that makes any sense. So it's like when I hear somebody saying that, it's like I just like think of them as just being like crazy, like just insane, just completely like lost their bearings, completely lost their marbles. They've just completely lost their mind. And if I like associate with what they're saying and allow it to impact my emotions, like I just wouldn't be able to do this, bro. There's no way I could run these streams. I appreciate you for the $10 over on Venmo. Andrew, who says, can we get some keyboard in between guests? I've heard a lot of people asking that. Maybe we should. Briley, thank you for the $10 as well. Who says, are you familiar with Macklemore's vocalization on Palestine and politics in general? Do you have thoughts on it? No, I'm not familiar with Macklemore speaking up. I don't really see anything from Macklemore anymore. Gracie, thank you for the $7. Who says, I love your lives. Keep going. Thanks, Gracie. You can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio, by the way. The handle's also always living right there on the top of the phone screen. It's just my name, Dean Withers, without the letter Ian Withers. Over on PayPal, Mozaid, thank you for the $24. Who says, hey, Dean, I hope that you're having a good day. I wanted to ask you about your opinions on Saudi Arabia and why you have them. I mean, I guess I don't really know too much. I feel like for the most part, my opinions aren't positive on like any like government that's super oppressive at individualistic liberties, rights, and freedoms. Also, I'm pretty sure that they basically just have like a dictatorship, right? Like I'm pretty opposed to like royal families, dictatorship, so on and so forth. If it's not like a multicultural democracy that respects individual rights, liberties, and freedoms, like I'm not gonna have a favorable view of it. I'm really not gonna have a favorable view of it. I think that multicultural democracy with respect to individualistic rights, liberties, and freedoms is just like the only way to do it. Any other way is just bad. Any other way. At least in application. Like you could have like a theoretical like benevolent dictator, but that's just completely theoretical. It's a thought experiment for your mind. It's not like something that could ever actually happen. Paradise, thank you for the €20. Who says, sad that she moved on from trans people in sports. Often the right way, say undergoing HRT causes many health issues, and then also state that they have an unfair advantage in sports despite health issues. It's such a paradox. True. Appreciate you for the €20. Joyce, thank you for the $5, and Emily, thank you for the $3 over on PayPal. Appreciate y'all. And Christy with the $2 says, where's Mitch McConnell? Yeah, where the hell is that guy? For real. Folks, I'm actually going to hop off. Had a pretty crazy stream today. Parker, you going live now?
Yeah, I'll hop on right now. I just expected maybe we'd do a debate here. I feel you though on the getting off.
Yeah, I gotta run. Guys, listen, if you enjoyed the debates today at all, please hit that follow button in the top left-hand corner of your phone screen on TikTok and drop us up on YouTube. It really helps me out. It really helps me out a lot. If you want a notification every day when I do go live, you could actually join the updates channel on my Instagram account. Just search up Dean Withers, you'll find it. I publish a message in there every single day when I start my live. So if you really enjoy the lives, you'll get a notification when I go live if you join that updates channel. Parker, if you want to go start now, I'll send you a raid.
Yeah, I'll make sure to do that, man. Take a break, bro. Give yourself some time off, bro. Take some rest.
You take care, man.
All right, I'll see you, bro.
See ya. And Amanda, this is just the last donation for now. Thank you for the $10 in PayPal. That's it for me for the day. Go raid Parker, @ParkerGetAJob on TikTok, @ParkerGetAJob on YouTube. Peace, love, good night, and goodbye.